Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. We've got a lot to cover on the program today, and I'm going to start with this fake news story that just ticked me off beyond imagination yesterday. You know, we have the greatest president of our lifetimes. However old you are, if you're listening to me, this is the greatest president of your lifetime, and arguably the greatest president in the history of the American presidency. There's just no getting around it. I mean, everything he's doing is so amazing. He has saved so many lives around the world with so many different things that he's done. And a man collapses in the Oval Office yesterday during a press event. President Trump, like everyone else, rushes over to help. They get this one still photograph and they pass it along like he's Joe Biden who's checked out on Alzheimer's. Let me tell you, the media and Democrats are the biggest low-life scum in this country and are a complete poison in our society. And I'm going to go through the video and show you what really happened as opposed to this still picture that they have of him, which just really ticks me off. Today, if you're on hold, stand by. Today is Friday, and that means it's open phones every Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to talk about any of the topics that I bring up, and you're welcome to call in about anything and everything. I will talk a little bit. I went to see Eric Trump yesterday. I talked about it on a live stream on YouTube right after I left the event last night, but I'll talk about that more on the program today. Eric Trump is amazingly and impressive. And something majorly new about Zohan Mamdani, your radical revolutionary commie, mayor of New York, and a whole bunch more. Now, if you'd like to call in, the toll-free number is pinned in the live stream. It's 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Before I go to the calls, though, I want to go through this. So they got this fake picture of Trump, right, still picture, and I'm going to play for you the video, and I've got two versions of length. Okay, so they have this press conference yesterday on the pharmaceutical industry deal that Trump made, and the guy will collapse. Look, he just collapsed. The camera moves, and then you see. I'll make it smaller so I'm not in the way. You see that President Trump immediately moves over. You got Dr. Oz, who, luckily this is a press conference about pharmaceuticals, and the room's filled with top American doctors. So Dr. Oz rushes immediately, puts the guy in a bear hug. Here's the president standing on the side, looking if he can help. Boom, they got him. Dr. Oz has him, so he doesn't fall and hurt himself. The other doctors are there. The president leaped in to help. He's watching, and then he steps away. To get out of the way so that the doctors can help this man who we don't know what's wrong with him. And then they put this photograph of our president out there. After everything happened, Dr. Oz talked to the press.
Saw that he was starting to fall back a bit and then fall forward. You know, that wobbliness is never a good scene, especially in the Oval Office where you usually have attention paying, standing upright. And so I grabbed him. The most important thing you learn in medical school, but you should learn it if you're not a doctor as well, is just get people to the ground safely. So I bear hugged him, and with some colleagues who were standing next to me, Secretary Kennedy and others, we lowered him slowly to the ground. So far he's doing well, but I'll tell you a story it speaks loudly to the kind of person the president is. So I wanted to speak to the wife to let her know what was happening, but also comfort her. And the president saw me in the corner, and he came over and said, "Who are you talking to?" I said, sort of sheepishly, "I'm talking to the wife." And he said, "Give me that phone." He talked to her and got her much calmer than I could have ever done. And I just...
Amazing.
He just a wonderful human being that he would take time. He could have gone off and done 10 other things, but he actually cared that the wife of a man who he has never met before felt in a safer place. He remembers the forgotten folks.
Yeah, exactly. So President Trump did everything like you're supposed to do. And of course, what do? They make it look as if he just stood there like, what do I do? What do I do? Which is the opposite of what happened. I will take the calls. It is open MAGA Mike Friday. If you're watching on the live screen, on the live stream with the green wall behind me, you have to go to my main stream to see and hear the audio and video that I play. And the link to my main stream is in the description of the video. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother.
What's your name?
Hey, I love you, brother. I'm Edwin, Brian here from Colorado.
Edwin in Colorado. What's on your mind?
I just want to let you know, brother, I support you fully. Love you, brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Take care. Love you too. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doc from Texas.
Oh, hey. What's up, Texas?
Hey, man. What's going on? How are you this morning?
I am always well.
I am too, man. The good Lord woke us up this morning.
Hold on. Let me answer these phones that are coming in. All right. Go ahead. Oh, hold on. My phones are ringing off the hook. All right. What's on your mind?
Hey, your wife. How's your wife? She's doing good?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. That's good. Hey, I just want to make a quick comment about the incident at the White House yesterday. You know what? You shouldn't even have to say nothing about it. It is what it is, and keep it moving, man. And
well, the media are lying about our great president.
You know what? I always have this thing. You can say whatever you want to say and keep it moving. And I'm just tired of it all. I'm tired of the media. I'm tired of Republicans. I'm tired of Democrats. I'm tired of all of it.
With emphasis on tired of the Democrats, because the Democrats and the media are one and the same. Yeah, I mean, they're terrible people. You're starting to wake up.
I'm tired of Republicans. I'm tired of them all. Not just the media. Not just the Democrats. I'm tired of. I'm tired of MAGA.
Oh, you're tired of MAGA. Why would you be tired of making America great again? Why does that tire you out? What are you doing?
Because I'm tired.
Except benefiting.
I'm tired because we all need to come together. And make
all need to come together. Listen. You're in Texas, which was on the front lines of Invasion USA from the southern border. President Trump has stopped all that human trafficking and slave trading that was going on through the border of your state of Texas, and you're tired of stopping that? What kind of person are you? Especially as we move into the holiday season.
Brian, you see, let me finish.
You know what you're tired of? You're tired of losing because you're a Democrat.
I'm not tired of. I'm tired of it all, Brian. You see, I can't have a civil conversation with you.
Well, then let's not have any conversation. Then you're not really contributing much. I mean, maybe you need to get some more sleep. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Edward, Colorado.
Edward, it's one call per day. You just called.
Yeah, let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah?
Brother, can you believe Donald Trump made peace?
Okay, all right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Ken. I'm calling from Arizona.
Hey, Arizona. What's on your mind?
Well, what do you think about this mayor of New York City getting elected by a bunch of feminists?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because, that is impartial. In large part that's true what you said, but really, I wouldn't say feminist. I wouldn't describe them as feminist. I would call them stupid, uninformed people who think that they are feminist and are really the opposite because Muslims, believe that women are basically property. But the numbers are now coming out. There's an article in Front Page. Mamdani only won 14% of the vote, of the registered voters of New York City. Voter turnout was incredibly low. And so, this idea that he has some kind of mandate, he only got 14% of the registered voters voting for him. So he is not the populace that they're trying to present him as.
Oh, no, of course not.
Only think about that. He got
the
14.
thing
There was a
is
very low voter turnout. He only got 14% of registered voters in the city of New York. That's crazy.
It is crazy. But, you know, the former caller talking about, the lady was talking about, she's just fed up. Well, you know.
That was a man.
I think
That was not a lady. That was a man.
It was?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Pardon me, sir.
I can understand the mistake.
But, you know, there are those that are talking about appealing the 19th Amendment, that women shouldn't be voting.
Who's talking about that? You? Who's talking about that?
No, I just watched a video this morning.
Oh, so somebody said it.
Apparently
There's nobody seriously talking about that.
I don't know.
And it doesn't
coming
matter.
up.
It doesn't matter. New York is
No, it's not gonna happen.
New York is a liberal Democrat place. Democrats are stupid. So even if women didn't have the vote, the Democrat men are just as stupid and would have done the same. But he only won 14% of the registered voters only voted for him. I mean, this is really a very minority mayor. I'm surprised. I was surprised to hear this.
Well, it's kind of shocking, and people need to be looking at London.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
where are we headed?
We're heading
wake
to
up, people.
greatness. I mean, you know, this idea that there was some kind of blue wave is absurd. There was no blue wave. Democrats won in Democrat areas. That's not a blue wave. Democrats beat other Democrats and won in Democrat cities and states. I don't get this blue wave talk. Hey, appreciate the call. You know what I mean, guys? It just doesn't seem to make too much sense. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie. Good
Hey,
morning,
Richie.
Brian.
What's up?
You know the guy who sounds like a woman from Texas that
guy.
calls you every day.
Dude sounds like a lady.
Yeah,
Is that his name? Dude sounds like a lady from Texas.
Yeah, that's how we have to describe him. The voice of a female male.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the deal with him. We have to come together. They celebrated this. They're trying to celebrate the most.
Hold on, Richie. Let me answer all the phones that are coming in. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Hold on. The phones are very busy today. All right, go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, the Democrats are trying to sell. Well, this guy's saying we got to come together while the media is trying to tell you how wonderful this old witch, Nancy Pelosi, who just announced her retirement, the one that you come together. This is a woman that had her iron fist on the caucus of the Democrats, where they never would go and reach over the aisle. In other words, that's when government started to separate, when they wouldn't work together, because she was a witch.
Well, she still is a witch.
I can remember.
Yeah. She still is a witch, Richie.
I can remember what. Oh yes, I remember the hair deal when they had the COVID. That how she went in to the hair salon to get her hair done, where nobody else could even go to a store.
Well, she's a special lady.
I can remember. Absolutely. And here's the deal: how could you ever trust somebody like her? She's a thief. Mm-hmm. Because what she did with her portfolio, her and her husband, how could you ever trust anything that ever came out of her mouth? This is a woman that made over $300 million, I believe it is.
Have they announced what her final net worth? The last time I heard her net worth, it was $250 million. She's up to 300 now. 300 million.
Yeah, whatever. It's pretty high. It's pretty high.
You know, Nancy Pelosi. When this came out, okay, Nancy Pelosi's husband, his stock picks outperform all the major hedge funds on Wall Street. So it's obviously they buy stocks that are like 10 cents a stock, and then she pushes through legislation benefiting those companies, and they're rich. It's insider trading.
Yeah,
it's really criminal.
She is a criminal. She's a crook. So this is the model that they got put up there. This old crutch. President Trump hit it right on the head. She's one of the worst divisive people that ever stepped in. The first female in Congress was the most disgusting woman.
And I'll tell you, the reason she retired is her marriage is in shambles. I mean, her husband was obviously, when she was out of town, was up to no good. the car accident, the thing at the house with the guy,
All of that.
her husband is a strange dude doing weird stuff. And the reason she's retiring is she's a mental wreck over her marriage is in total chaos.
Nobody in the Democratic Party would ever stand up to this witch. And it really frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
And the most disrespectful thing she did was the State of the Union. When all those people that were standing up that had, I think the one person had a brain tumor and all that, and she stood up there and ripped up the State of the Union in defiance. And her white outfit that was going along with all the squad, this whole thing, these are low-class people.
Yes.
And this one that they put in as mayor of New York, let me say this. It's not that they elected him and what with the small percentage that he got, regardless of anything like that. It's how many Muslims and radical Muslims he's going to let in over the next 4 years.
They're going to have the largest migration of Muslims in American history is going to be taking place. They're going to be moving to New York City in droves.
And he'll be reelected.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be millions of little
what their plan is he can't be president.
Yeah, take over the country.
Their plan is to have massive migration to New York City. He'll have at least 2 terms. They may change things like they did for Bloomberg and allow him 3, but their plan is to get him in the Senate. You know that, right?
You know who else is probably going to get you? You know who's probably going to be in his cabinet? That Sorazar or whatever her name is, the Brooklyn-born radical Muslim that's at all their national meetings. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think Sorazar is her last name.
They've already,
John
Sullivan had a reporter from Just the News that was in one of their Zoom meetings the other day, and they let him in and wrote a story on it. I have it on my X. I might go through it later. And their mission is to divest any city business from Jews. Anything Jews are involved in, they want to do away. I mean, this is some hardcore. This is some hardcore 1930s like planning they've got going on up there. If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, the Jews are in trouble. I watched the Bill O'Reilly yesterday on his 12. It was about a 12-minute clip. When you get an opportunity, he said that to seize the communism is to seize. The ultimate goal is to seize public property.
Yes.
Private
Correct.
property. Private property. In other words, they're going to take your property away.
That's right.
Eventually, this is what
he announced that. He announced that in his victory rant. Richie, I got to run, but we'll talk again.
All right, have a good morning.
All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after this.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Are you looking for a gift that lasts a lifetime? One that's personal, powerful, and proudly American-made. At Back 40 Metalworks on Etsy, that's Works, W-O-R-X. They turn ideas into steel. Since 2010, Back 40 Metalworks has been crafting over 200 unique metal art designs, from wildlife and rustic decor to modern wall pieces and custom creations. With more than 30 years of experience working with metal, they know how to shape your vision into something extraordinary. Need a personalized welcome sign for your home? A company logo? A one-of-a-kind Christmas gift? Something for mom or dad on their day? Or any other day of the year? Every piece at Back 40 Metalworks is built to last, indoors or out, and every design tells a story, your story, in steel. Visit the shop online right now. Back40metalworks.etsy.com. That's W-O-R-X. And view the inventory. You will be impressed. Back40metalworks.etsy.com. They turn ideas into steel.
All right, and Back 40, they're good conservative people, good MAGA people. The link to that Etsy shop is in the description of the video, guys. All right, let's go back to the phones. There's one opening on the board. It is open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to be MAGA to call. Of course, if you disagree, you're welcome. The number is, again, pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hold on. Let me answer all the lines here. Hold on.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, fella, I work here in Colorado, brother. I talked to you earlier.
You can only call once per day. You can only call once per day. I'm glad you're a fan, but this is your third call. You can only call once per day. But I'll let you go now, but don't call back today. You can call tomorrow.
What do you mean?
You can only call once per show.
So I'm trying to talk to you.
I know, but you've called. This is your third call, so I'll let you talk.
Yeah,
but
'cause I wanna talk to you,
don't call back on this show. Call back on another show, like this afternoon or tomorrow. All right, what's on your mind?
I just want to let you know, brother. Like, I don't know. I just want to troll motherfuckers that are fucking with you.
No one is, except maybe you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be nice to you, but I really feel sorry for you when
nice
a grown man like you behaving in such a way. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, this is the most consequential president and presidency of our lifetime. You've said that. You know, this guy knows his instincts are keen. He knows when to show empathy, and then he knows when to step back and let the actual experts do their jobs.
That's right.
That's exactly what he did when he stepped back and let Dr. Oz be the doctor. You know,
Yep.
I mean, this guy is just simply amazing. This Mr. President Trump. He's simply amazing, and that's the thing. Is look, this guy we're looking at on the picture, but Mamdani is basically trying to get into Trump's face and say, "You're not coming in New York with your."
Well, unfortunately for Mr. Mamdani, which, by the way, you'll never hear me call him Mayor Mamdani. Okay, I'll never call him Mayor, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Mamdani, or the Mayor. Okay. I'm not ever going to call him that. But Mamdani doesn't since he didn't, he's not an American in his heart and mind. He doesn't know how things work. Federal government's authority supersedes that of local municipalities, okay? States too, by the way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And one last thing about him, calling him mayor is an affront to Rudy Giuliani.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not going to ever call him mayor. If you notice, I didn't call Biden president either. I mean, see, these titles to me are respect. And, people have these titles that they earn, and you respect them, and you call them, Mr. President, and Mr. Mayor and Senator and you call the title is a sign of respect. And when I have no respect, you don't get the title from me. Sorry.
Absolutely. And look, he doesn't even respect the Cuomos.
No.
So why should we respect him?
All right, Mike. Good to hear from you. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Frank from Connecticut.
Hey, Frank. What's on your mind?
So I apologize if you touched on this already, but 14% of
registered voters.
What the headline says, registered voters. I believe I saw an article about them not asking for ID at the polls, and I think that's a big reason why he was still able to win with only 14% of registered voters. I don't know how accurate that is, and I don't know if you spoke about it already, but I believe that's kind of what the Democrats' plan has been for the last few years, especially now that the border was wide open. They were going to ship all these illegal immigrants to all the swing states.
Well,
here's for ID and basically
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We don't have any sway over what they did in New York. It's a Democrat town and all that. But But what when you're a winner, like the MAGA movement's a winning movement, not a bunch of losers. Like that dude sounds like a lady caller from Texas who's, I'm tired. And I told you, you're tired because you're losing. You're a Democrat, you're losing. When you're a winner, like President Trump, you take when something doesn't go your way, you find a way to use it to your advantage. And what this guy is doing in New York is going to be a major wake-up call as we move into midterm election season. It is going to not be positive for them. So what? New York's Democrat state. It's been a Democrat state for a long, long time. New York City's been a Democrat state for a long, long time, with an exception here and there. There's no big mandate that they have, and it's going to do nothing but help us. This Mamdani, who I will never call mayor. I have no respect for him. None.
No, Zoran the moron. That's it.
You talking about Ron? Who's that? DeSantis?
No.
Zoran the moron. Oh, Zoran the. Oh, okay. I just heard Ron. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Zoran the moron. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Service, don't want to interrupt you.
All right, take care. Appreciate the call. You made some good points. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Barry Rubin. I just want to say something. Every morning, I see you and you're fucking grinding so hard. I have so much respect for you as a content creator.
Well, thank you very much. I do. I have over. I average well over 100 live streams each month on YouTube.
Yeah, you're insane. You're insane.
That's what my wife says.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's what my wife says.
I'm going to be honest with you. Have you ever heard of The Bulwark?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I started their YouTube channel, so
okay.
Obviously we're opposites.
Yeah.
But I will say, I don't think anyone grinds harder than you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Wait,
so you're from the.
But
yeah, you can ask me. Go ahead. Now that you've done all the compliments to build me up, take the jabs.
No. I'm actually not gonna. No. Why don't you do more videos and live streams? I feel like YouTube promotes topic by topic videos. That's been our secret sauce.
What do you mean? You mean doing as opposed to live streams, do videos?
Breaking news happens, and you sit down and you talk about breaking news.
I do that sometimes. I do that when things happen. But the thing is with me is. I am a one-man band. I have no help. I have no staff. I do everything. Yeah. I do today, as an example, I woke up at 12:30 in the morning. So
you're insane. Yeah.
So I've got to do I got to do my show prep. For the YouTube channel, I got to decide what my lead is. I make my own thumbnails. I got to get all that ready. I got to get ready for the radio show.
Yeah.
Plus, we got this, my podcast and radio show. The radio show's on a bunch of FM stations. There's a whole business end that, I have business meetings throughout the day and everything, and I don't have an assistant. I don't have a staff. Yeah. I got nothing. And I'll tell you, the last week, I've been so busy. I went out of town with my daughter last weekend, but I was even doing live streams from my hotel room, if you were watching. And I was so fried yesterday. I get to the radio station because I'm at my home studio now. Most of the time, I'm broadcasting on the radio and from my home studio. But I had to go to the radio station yesterday, which is an hour away from my house. I got to the radio station. I forgot my microphones for YouTube. I forgot my commercial because I've been getting 3 hours sleep a night for the last week. I wish I hear all these people who say, "Oh, my staff," and this. I don't. It's just. I got Mike is our board up at the radio station. But I'm one man band. I just can't. I am stretched so thin. I can't do anymore.
Yeah, luckily for me, I have a deep background in video production. But let me just say, in terms of just technology right now, editing a podcast, making content, you can use your freaking webcam, all that stuff is so accessible that like, I mean, I think you could figure it out.
I'm hosting a morning drive FM radio station that's on a radio show on a bunch of FM stations. I've got a podcast that, while I'm not number one in the world like Candace Owens declared yesterday, I have more listeners than 98.5% of all other podcasts in the world. So my audio podcast is huge. So I got the radio show, the podcast, and my YouTube channel.
You don't put the podcast on YouTube.
I do the podcast live on YouTube in the afternoons, and I upload that audio to the podcast platforms. And then there's a whole business end, that I have. You hear the commercials and everything. I got to go to business meetings. The commercials you hear on the show, I record, produce, and edit the commercials, video and audio. I do it for the radio station. And
why don't you hire like a really cheap editor?
What happens? I give you. I've only got a couple minutes because the radio show is going to start. This is like the pre-show, but I'll tell you. If you watch what happened, no, we're on the air. It's like I do a pre-show on YouTube before the radio show. If I give you an example, Jeremy from the Quartering on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's a textbook example of this. What happens with people is they start bringing on staff. And then all of a sudden, they're not making enough money to pay everybody. And then they'll do something like, I'm ending my YouTube channel, which really is just a way to lay everybody off without paying unemployment. Yeah. Or like Jeremy from the Quartering did, he just fired pretty much his whole staff. He said the other day that he and his wife are going to have to go back to be doing the thumbnails. He's fired like his whole staff. People that do shows, they expand too much.
I know exactly what you're talking about, like Ben Shapiro, right? Like he had like 30, 40 people working on like his one show, he said on Rogan. But I think there's a big difference between that and hiring like one person.
What could one person do to help me on my live stream?
We have we have completely different audiences, but if you ever want to talk shop, I don't know how to get in contact
go to my website, briancraigshow.com. You can email me there and email me your cell, and I'll text you.
Right.
Yeah, what's your first name?
Talk politics.
What's your first name?
Barry Rubin.
Yeah, Barry.
Barry Rubin.
Okay. I don't know why I don't know why you guys are not MAGA, but that's okay.
Well, because I just respect your grind. I just respect your grind so much. It's insane.
Yeah, people have no idea. They think this, and I've been doing this for 30 years because I've been on the radio, so over 30 years. It's something. All right, listen, I appreciate it. Go ahead. I'll give you the last word.
All right. No, just keep up the good work.
All right, take care. All right, now if you're on hold, stand by. We're doing the transition. We got about 2 minutes. Until the radio show starts. So I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back and get ready to go on the radio, and then we'll get back to the calls after the radio show starts.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
All right, we're going to be live on the radio in less than a minute, so I'm going to open up with this story. I'm going to go through the details of this Mamdani story. And I appreciate the guy that called in, from Bull. I know who Bulwark. Everybody knows them. But, I guess maybe I'm a control freak too. I don't know. But hold on. Stand by. I know what time we're coming on exactly, but let me see here. Okay. All right. We got about 30 seconds. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. All right. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. It is Friday. We have so much to cover. And, of course, Friday is Open Phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. One of our listeners, Christine from Pennsylvania, came up with that a number of years ago. Open MAGA Mike Friday. I like that. You don't have to be MAGA to call in. But on Friday, it is Open Phones. The show prep is up to you in the listening audience. You can call in about anything and everything on your mind. You do not even have to comment on Friday's show on the topics that we bring up, okay? Although I got a lot of good stuff that I am going to cover. And I want to start with a big story about Mom Donnie. You know, Mom Donnie is, there's nothing about Mom Donnie that does not equal bad news, okay? But it's being presented as if Mom Donnie is some type of referendum on Trump and the world and America, and this is the new world that we're in. And Front Page Magazine has an article that I saw this morning, and it just blew my mind. Here's the headline. Mom Donnie won the votes of only 14% of New York City adults. Listen to this. And I'm going to go, if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to go. This is an amazing article in Front Page Magazine. David, I always was a fan of David Horowitz. You guys love David. We used to have David Horowitz on the show all the time. Zohan Mom Donnie, this is in the article in Front Page. Front Page Magazine. I did post this to my ex. Zohan Mom Donnie won a little over 1 million votes as of the current count. In a city with a population of around 7 million. That's about 14%. The total election turnout was a little over 2 million, making for an election turnout of 28%. That's not even a third of New York City's population. New York City's election turnout has always been weak. And while the city has a large illegal population, it still has around 5 million registered voters. That's a below 40% turnout rate for registered voters. The media is hyping this as the highest election turnout in decades, only if you don't pay attention to the population growth. In the 1993 showdown between Giuliani and Dinkins was a disaster, and whom Bill de Blasio viewed as an inspiration, 1.9 million voters turned out in a city with a smaller population, with 3 million registered voters for a 59% voter turnout. So they had 59% voter turnout in Giuliani's first run for mayor when he won. The turnout fell in the 2001 election. That was effectively a referendum on Giuliani's policies by Bloomberg. Turnout was at over 40%. So this, Mom Donnie, isn't a mandate. Putting together 1 million votes in a city whose Muslim settler population, I like that, they're calling them settlers, I call them colonists, but I like settler too, is somewhere below 1 million, and whose leftist population is certainly in that range, is not a big deal. The opposition didn't put together enough votes. Everything rested on turnout, and with the Muslim settler population and the leftist TikTok voters and college students, Mom Donnie had a cushion that was hard to beat. It's not a mandate. It's colonization and apathy, they write. So he only got 14% of the vote overall of adults in the city. So, I'm not big in going through numbers and statistics because, but this is a solid number because they want to present this as a mandate in the whole country because the Democrats are losers, really. I mean, they have no path to win anything nationwide. So they need to grab onto something to try to get some momentum back. So they're trying to use this as a mandate. So have no fear, people. Everything is fine. New York has a long history, with the exception of Giuliani, of electing Democrat lunatics that are involved in all kinds of strange things. And I always get confused. De Blasio, the previous mayor, Bernie Sanders and de Blasio, one of them honeymooned in Moscow, one of them honeymooned in Castro's Cuba, and I can never remember which one it is. Does anyone know? But they're going to continue to tell us that this is some incredible mandate. It's not. And you look at it's all about turnout. And, Curtis Leawood didn't help. But now, I went to an event yesterday, a cryptocurrency event at the Hard Rock in Hollywood. The big guitar hotel, the Seminole Indian Hard Rock and Casino. I've never been into that guitar hotel. It was my first time in the guitar hotel. But they had this big crypto convention the last couple of days. I went both days. My daughter is heavily involved in crypto and NFTs and everything. And I got us press passes to go, my daughter and I. And we went because I wanted the chance to hear Eric Trump. And I went and saw Eric Trump yesterday, and he came in with the two guys that he started his crypto company with, American Bitcoin. And I've seen Eric Trump on TV 1,000,001 times, but seeing him in person and hearing him speak was a whole nother thing. I was so impressed with Eric Trump. I got to tell you something. He's incredibly brilliant. I was listening to him. He was talking about money and Bitcoin and crypto and American Bitcoin's operation. They have a facility in Texas where they're mining Bitcoin. I believe he said it's 600 yards long. They're in Texas because of the electricity prices are so low. It takes tremendous amounts of electricity to mine Bitcoin. And the electricity that they use in their facility at American Bitcoin is the same amount of electricity that's powering the entire city of White Plains, New York. And I wonder if that was in the wintertime when everybody's got the heat and all that going. I don't know. But I was very impressed with him on a couple of things. One of the other things that really impressed me with Eric Trump yesterday was how normal and down to earth he is. I've had the same impression from Don Jr. These guys, they were both born billionaires. They could have sat back and coasted through life and not worked a day in their life. And, like the Kennedys have done, many of them in the past, or Hunter Biden. And you do a comparison between Hunter Biden and Eric Trump. Oh my goodness. There's no compare. Polar opposites. And I'm a strong believer. There's always exceptions to every rule, but I'm a strong believer that you can judge a man by his children. Our children are reflections of us. And when I'm out and about with my daughter and I see her interacting, with people, I'm so proud of her, and it's definitely a reflection of how my wife and I have raised her. And you look at President Trump's children, I was just blown away by Eric Trump. I'm going to buy stock in American Bitcoin in the company. I'm not some big mover and shaker, but I want to own a piece of that company. I was so blown away by the whole story and Eric Trump's vision of the future of not that's just his company, but of Bitcoin. And I got an interest now in crypto that I didn't have before yesterday afternoon. But we've all known, you go back to the days when you were in school. We've all known the so-called rich kids at school. What were the rich kids when you were in school? What was their parents' annual income, right? 6 figures, probably. Not even millionaires, but they were the rich kids. And what was happening? They were always wrecking cars, doing drugs, doing all that stuff. I remember I had some friends that I worked with that went to a different high school. They went to a private high school in Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas, a private high school. Chris Everett Lloyd went there, and Brian Piccolo, if you guys know Brian Piccolo, went there. And when I was in high school in the 80s, those were the rich kids in the neighborhood. And I went to some of their parties a couple times when I was in high school. There's drugs everywhere, all kinds of stuff. But their parents weren't millionaires, or certainly not billionaires. And we've all known the so-called rich kids that live a life of just messing up, screwing up, getting bailed out. I mean, what's that guy that's in prison they made the movies about and stuff that killed his wife and son? Remember, his son got into the boat accident, killed his friend and the girl, and they cover. You look at the Trumps. President Trump could, I hope he does this, writes a book on parenting, making parenting great again. Because I don't know what he did, but however Trump raised his children was total perfection. You know, I was so impressed with Eric Trump yesterday, how smart he is, how hardworking he is, but how normal he is. You know, I mean, normal like you or me, and relatable to regular people. And I've seen that in Don Jr. too. I haven't met the girls. You know, I haven't been in their presence. But I ran into Don Jr. At Turning Point in Palm Beach a couple years back, and I was just blown away by him too. Same thing. These guys, they're so normal. President Trump, let me tell you, when I say that you can judge a man by his children, that I take that to the bank. There's always exceptions. But when you see children, especially as adults, however they are, that's how their parents are. You see Hunter Biden, that's Joe and Jill. The daughters are wrecked too in the Biden family. You look at Eric Trump, you look at Don Jr., they're perfect. Perfect. Just like their dad. And that just says so much about him, doesn't it? So anyway, I'll take our first break of this Friday. Call us on hold. You hang in there. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. Barron, I haven't met Barron. I haven't been in his presence, but the bits I've seen of Barron are just the same. But I was at this cryptocurrency event at the Seminole Indian Hard Rock and Casino, the Gadar Hotel, with Eric Trump yesterday. So I was in his presence. So I got that experience, and it was just, I was so impressed with him. Mainly, I mean, I knew they were smart and all that, and, you know, all the Trump kids, but how normal the guy is. Just like his dad. And this is something that, like, the Pelosi's and all these people, they don't get. Why do regular people like you and me, why do we connect, and why do they connect with us? Well, I don't know. It's just, there's something in that family. You know, they have great parenting skills in the Trump family. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It is open phones, open MAGA Mike Friday. We'll take our first break of the Friday edition and be right back.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
This holiday season, let's make the season brighter together. Little Light is a family resource center dedicated to strengthening, nourishing, and empowering families, sparking a little light for a bright future. They're providing Thanksgiving meal kits for 50 families in Santa Ana, California, filled with all the holiday favorites that bring people together. Your one-time $35 donation helps make it all possible. But don't wait. Go to littlelightfrc.org and help share the joy, the love, and the light this holiday season. That's littlelightfrc.org. Make sure to share the link on all of your social media so your friends can help too. littlelightfrc.org.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queens $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
All right, we're still in break on the radio. We'll be back in just a minute. So just to finish up on Mamdani, and then I'm going to move on to some other topics for the day. And then we'll get to your calls as well. It is open phones. The number to call in is pinned in the live chat if you want to call in. If you're on hold, stand by. This is the replacement that Tucker Carlson coined, that great replacement theory that he was talking about, where this is part of that, right? This is what Obama was working towards, was a Mamdani. And there's a better than 50% chance that Mamdani will be reelected, and then they're going to try to put him in the Senate. We very well, AOC doesn't realize she's a useful idiot. She's going to get pushed out like Bernie Sanders is, right? But we're probably going to end up with the senators from New York being Mamdani and AOC. Think about that. We're lucky that he can't become president. She thinks she's going to be the Democrat nominee. She may, be one day as she gets a little older when she grows up, AOC. But their plan is to get him in the Senate. That's as far as he'll be able to get unless he gets a cabinet post with some Democrat in the future. But that's what their plan is. And New York City and New York State are just so important. We'll be back on the radio in less than a minute. Hold on one second. Okay, this is... Stand by, guys. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Call us on hold. You stand by. Sometimes it is open phones. Anything and everything on your mind is fair game. There's a few things I want to get to, and sometimes if I get too deep into the show on Friday, I never get to them. And they're pretty important. The border issue has always been an important issue to me. Before Trump came down the escalator, Steve and I didn't talk about it on the show too much. And a lot of listeners would get mad at us. And the reason we didn't, and we would explain this to people at the time, we don't have anybody this was before Trump came on the scene, we don't have anyone in the Republican Party who's going to do anything about it. In fact, what the Republicans before Trump came down the escalator were doing was making deals with the Democrats, right? I mean, Ronald Reagan even did an amnesty with illegals. And I've talked many times when I was a kid, a friend of the family was murdered by 2 illegals here in Florida. I was a kid, and they were 2 illegals from Mexico. They were farm workers, illegal. And it was just a terrible thing, and, this wave of illegals that are here that commit violent crimes isn't new. That was like 1983-ish, 1982, 1983. I can't remember exactly what year I was a kid. It was a terrible thing. I used to play video games with this kid I remember we played Intellivision, which was the game system after the Atari 2600. Anybody remember Intellivision? He was the first person I knew that had an Intellivision. He would come to the house with the Intellivision. We'd hook it up and play. Killed by 2 illegals. So, these stories we hear are definitely tragedies, Lincoln Riley and such. But illegals coming across from the southern border have been victimizing and murdering Americans for decades, right? The example I have is like over 40 years ago. And I when this topic comes up, I think about him sometimes when we talk about this. And he was a little older than me. So he would be pushing 60 years old. I'm 54, so he'd be pushing 60. And he was young when he was murdered by illegals. He wasn't married yet. He was too young, And they stole not just his life, but their children and grandchildren that never were even conceived because he was murdered by these illegals so long ago. And this has been going on in this country longer than any of us alive have been alive. And no one did anything about it until Trump. Same goes for this literal war now that we're against with the drug cartels. How many of you have had somebody in your family or a friend or someone you knew of who was a drug addict? I've been very lucky. I haven't had any addictions like that except my Starbucks coffee, and I haven't been able to kick that one. But, man, when people are hooked on drugs, we used to have a studio in Coral Springs. Any of you longtime listeners remember that? And originally, we had our insurance company sponsor, Adam Klatzoff. It was his building, and he was a sponsor of the program, and he built us a studio in his building. And now Debbie from I Will Advisors, that's been with us for many years, is Adam's daughter-in-law, and she's taken over the business. But Adam sold the buildings, and a drug rehab moved in, and it wasn't their rehab where they were actually rehabbing patients. It was their corporate offices, and we had the studio, and we were in the corporate office of this addiction sober living place, and They used to bring the addicts there around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning to get to see the psychiatrist that would prescribe for them. But they lived in rehab facilities and sober living facilities all over the area. But I'd get to the studio at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and sometimes people would show up with somebody who was ODing in the parking lot. This happened first time it freaked me out. It was usually a woman, a girlfriend or a wife with a man, a boyfriend or a husband, and they were ODing, and they were in a panic. So they Googled, and they found this place. They wanted to drop them off at rehab, so they brought them here and I'd say, well, this is the corporate office, not the thing. You got to call 911. And it was so bad. Watching these people, it was just so bad. And then they would bring them in on buses and drop them off to see the psychiatrist. They did come there to see their medical doctors, and they got there about the time Steve and I got off. And these addicts would get off the buses. Oh my goodness, these people were all different ages, young and old. They were so weathered. They segregated them by male and female. And the guys all look like really just awful. The women, the girls, most of them, not all, but most of them, they look like supermodels that were strung out on drugs. And you can only imagine what they had gone through before they ended up in some rehab. And we moved out of there during when COVID was going on, because they would be hanging around our studio, all these addicts and everything. And I told Steve, I said, we got to get out of here. This is just too much. So we moved to the radio station in Boca. And that office now is a gynecologist office. Last time I saw the rehab people, I don't know what happened to the rehab people. But Trump has taken on a couple of things that are so important and powerful, right? The immigration issue, and he saved so many lives just with that. How many people have not been victimized, whether it's a car accident or rape and murder, right? And everything in between, where people, and this war on the cartels. Who would have ever done what it is that he's doing? He's saving lives each and every day. And this is a story from the local news out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, WBRZ-TV, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Listen to this.
The investigation, which began over a year ago, centered on a home where 3 to 5 men at a time would be waiting in line outside. This video shot by the WBRZ shows Homeland Security going in and out of one of the residences where authorities say a sex ring was operating. According to a federal indictment from the Middle District, 3 Honduran nationals were running a sex trafficking operation from that home on Nicholson and another on Astor near LSU. Zaira Lopez Oliva, Jesus Lopez, Kirsis Castellanos Carrington were all indicted this afternoon. Homeland Security began investigating in August of last year and were finally able to make arrests last month after a sting operation confirmed what was going on inside. The indictment says the clientele were given a menu of available women through WhatsApp with prices, usually paying $40 to $60. Some of those women were trafficked from Houston and New Jersey.
Okay, now what they left out, this was an illegal alien sex ring, and the women that are in these are sex slaves, these women, okay? They were also illegals, migrants. President Trump has stopped a slave passage. Modern day slavery still exists in this country. There's, I'm a little late for the break, but I want to finish this thought before we break. There's, you guys know I'm a Star Trek fan, some of you. One of my favorite episodes of Star Trek is an episode entitled Bread and Circuses. They go to this planet, and the Roman Empire still exists in the 20th century, and they're slaves. And it's actually a Christian episode of Star Trek, not to get sidetracked. But there's a theme about slavery in the 20th century. How could this continue? We've got slavery going on in the 21st century done through the migrants. Labor slavery and sex slavery. That's what this is. And when we look back in time and we look at the Democrat antebellum slavery issue and the slave passages and everything from Africa to this country, we ask ourselves, how could the people have tolerated that? It's been tolerated and advocated here, and even still is today by Mamdani. They're trying, President Trump shut down a modern slave passage and slave trafficking ring, just like the slavery of the Democrat antebellum plantation era. It's different. And it's updated, and some of them are paid and some slave wages and such. But these women, this isn't Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, where she chooses to be empowered with her sexuality. These are sex slaves. And there's people that are labor slaves too. They're not in the fields picking cotton. They may be at a construction site or picking tomatoes, but they're still slaves. They may get paid a few dollars a day, but they're still slaves. President Trump did that. And those of you that are Democrat and black American who, like Joy Reid, obsessed with slavery, I get it. I told you guys I got this great biography, of Harriet Tubman. It was so horrific. I can't read the book. It was so upsetting how evil these Democrats were and how they treated their slaves. But, President Trump, like Abraham Lincoln, freed millions of slaves. And it's still happening, like this brothel in Louisiana that Kristi Noem's Homeland Security busted this week that I just played for you. This is a slave brothel with modern-day slaves run by overseers of these slaves. And President Trump is ending that each and every day. And he gets no credit for it. They tried to kill him to stop him from doing this. They shot him. They killed Charlie Kirk. to try to get their slaves back. And in 1860, just now, and in 2025, the Democrats are fighting to keep their slaves. And sometimes the people fighting to keep their slaves are black people like Sonny Hostin on The View. Or The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne de God. Or Joy Reid. We're going to take our break. We're very late for the break. My apologies. Our number is 888-465-2631. Call us on hold. You stand by. We'll be right back.
The investigation, which began over a year ago, centered on a home where 3 to 5 men at a time would be waiting in line outside. This video shot by the WBRZ shows Homeland Security going in and out of one of the residences where authorities say a sex ring was operating. According to a federal indictment from the Middle District, 3 Honduran nationals were running a sex trafficking operation from that home on Nicholson and another on Astor near LSU. Zaira Lopez Oliva, Jesus Lopez, Kirsis Castellanos Carrington were all indicted this afternoon. Homeland Security began investigating in August of last year and were finally able to make arrests last month after a sting operation confirmed what was going on inside. The indictment says the clientele were given a menu of available women through WhatsApp with prices, usually paying $40 to $60. Some of those women were trafficked from Houston and New Jersey.
Yeah, well, they don't want to tell you the whole truth of what's going on there, but my Lord, doesn't get worse than that, does it? It's sad and it's disgusting. It really, really, truly is. Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, I told you, I got a lot of stuff to cover. They're just telling me from the radio what time we're going to... Okay, I am so late on the break. Okay. Now, I want to tell you guys that MyPillow and Mike Lindell did renew for the month of November, but it's very important for you guys to continue to support them. Do your Christmas shopping. Go to MyPillow.com. There's incredible deals going on right now. You can use my promo code Kane at checkout on all the specials at MyPillow.com with my promo code Kane.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queens $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
All right. Look at the clock here. We're going to be back shortly on the radio. If you're on hold, hang in there. We've got 1 minute-ish until we're back. Oh, man, I tell you, the stories are just, aren't they awful? They really, truly are. They really are. Very upsetting. Yep, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get to the calls. I told you, I got a lot of stuff to cover. I will be podcasting and streaming a lot over the weekend. There's just so much going on. The last couple of days, I've been tied up with this cryptocurrency thing that I went to, which was pretty amazing. All right, stand by. I got about 30 seconds. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, all right. I don't mind cranks, but be clever and a little talent. All right, now I wanted to share this before I go back to the phones. This is just blew my mind. The guy that threw the Subway sub at the federal agent and then ran like a weirdo was acquitted by a jury in D.C. yesterday. And this guy, you look at what the president's up against. Remember, he worked for a Justice Department lawyer. You look at what the president is up against, and it's beyond imagination what he has to deal with. The bureaucracy that's running this country is crazy. These are crazy people who don't see the world clearly, not just in a different way. They just don't see the world clearly. This guy's on video. We've all seen it. He threw a sub at a federal officer. He assaulted a federal officer, and then he ran to try to escape and was chased down and resisted arrest. He gets acquitted. Now, what would you guys do if that happened? You'd be very grateful. Oh, man, I got lucky. I just won the lottery, and you'd go home and be very grateful that you didn't go to jail or you didn't lose your ability to earn a living and you're not a convicted federal felon. Not this guy. He went out and had a press conference. This guy's a monster.
I am so happy that justice prevails in spite of everything happening. And that night, I believe that I was protecting the rights of immigrants.
See what I mean? You got a white liberal Democrat. This is the guy who just got acquitted for assaulting a federal agent, and he's protecting immigrants. This goes back to the story before the break. This is 2025. It'll be 26 soon. It's still 25. In 2025, you've got a white Democrat talking the same way that white Democrats were talking in 1855, right? I'm protecting ours. Immigrants and migrants is code word for their slaves. Remember what they used to say? Who's going to mow your lawn? Well, I got an American guy that mows my lawn. Who's going to clean your toilets? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Who's going to have sex with you at the brothels? It's basically what they're saying. The Democrats are out there protecting their slaves.
I am so happy that justice prevails in spite of everything happening. And that night, I believe that I was protecting the rights of immigrants. And let us not forget that the Great Seal of the United States says e pluribus unum. That means from many, one. Every life matters, no matter where you came from.
Okay, and this white liberal, he is an attorney, so I guess he's going to become some illegal immigration rights activist. And here he is, I'm here to defend our slaves. He's got a black guy with him behind him who has an afro like some guy I went to school with in 76 in kindergarten, right? I'm looking at this guy. Are afros like that back? You know, it's just a huge afro. I did not know. But I'm not up to date on black men's hairstyles, but, you know, whatever. When you watch this press conference of this guy, his mannerisms and everything, he's not normal. He's off a bit. But, you know, I don't even hear him think this guy is so far gone. You know, like I remember they used to have this thing in Florida. Sadly, they've changed this. That if you got a speeding ticket or any type of ticket, if the cop didn't show up to court, it was dismissed. And they changed the way things work now, so you don't get off so easily anymore in Florida. They changed that a long time ago. But I remember I got a ticket. I was driving to the Florida Keys, and I was like 19 or 20. And I was really going fast. I was going so fast with the new laws they have. I might have been able to get arrested by the traffic laws of today. They just updated the speeding laws. I was going really fast, and it was a big, expensive ticket, and it was the Florida Highway Patrol. And I remember I went to court, and it was a big ticket, and I was going over 100 miles an hour. and the cop didn't show up because there was a way you could do it. The way you did it is you kept rescheduling the court date. If you called the courthouse and rescheduled the court date, by the time I had to go to court, it had been a year or so since I got the speeding ticket, and the trooper didn't show up. And the judge dismissed the case. This is how it used to be. You guys, you remember when it used to be that way in Florida? I thanked the judge, and I was so happy, and I was with my friends, and I said, man, I got lucky, because that ticket was going to be a lot of money, and I could have gotten my license suspended maybe. I was going over 100 miles an hour on the way to the Keys. I don't remember what road it was on. It's been a long time. It's like 19 or 20 years old. It's been like, 35 years or so. But I was like, oh man, I got so lucky. I thanked the judge. Not this guy. He assaulted a federal agent, evaded arrest, resisted arrest, and ran down the street like a weirdo. Remember, he ran like a strange person, and they had to chase him down, multiple agents. And he's not grateful that he got away with what he did. I did. I knew I had, I pled no contest, but I was speeding. He knows what he did. We've all seen it. But he feels right and just in assaulting federal agents, resisting arrest, evading arrest, fleeing the scene of his crime. He feels totally, he's not giving some spin. This liberal guy's mind is so far gone that he thinks what he did was right and just. And that is your typical Washington bureaucrat. However many there are, that's what Trump is up against in D.C. Almost all of them think like this. They are the resistance. Those who work in the bureaucracy like this guy did before Pam Bondi fired him, they believe it is their country and we're just living in it. All you Swifties, you remember that concert? It's Taylor Swift's world, we're just living in it. That's how they feel about our country. It's the bureaucrats in Washington's country. We're just living in it. They have, and what they believe, they're so sick and twisted. This guy and these bureaucrats in Washington that are resisting President Trump, like this guy, they believe this, that they have answered President Kennedy's call to public service. They're so far gone that they can't be fixed. That's why this firing during the shutdown period of so many federal workers is so important. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you're on hold, hang in there.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
Are you looking for a gift that lasts a lifetime? One that's personal, powerful, and proudly American made. At Back 40 Metalworks on Etsy, that's Works, W-O-R-X. They turn ideas into steel. Since 2010, Back 40 Metalworks has been crafting over 200 unique metal art designs, from wildlife and rustic decor to modern wall pieces and custom creations. With more than 30 years of experience working with metal, they know how to shape your vision into something extraordinary. Need a personalized welcome sign for your home? A company logo? A one-of-a-kind Christmas gift? Something for mom or dad on their day? Or any other day of the year? Every piece at Back 40 Metalworks is built to last, indoors or out, and every design tells a story, your story, in steel. Visit the shop online right now, back40metalworks.etsy.com. That's W-O-R-X, and view the inventory. You will be impressed. Back40metalworks.etsy.com. They turn ideas into steel.
Yeah, I mean, we're still in our radio station break. I'll go to the phones after the break. You guys see what I'm saying about these in the bureaucrats? And because they're in the bureaucracy, they're in a total state of resistance against the president, and they feel so justified in their arrogance. It's really crazy, scary, isn't it? It really, truly is. They're mentally ill. I mean, they're very arrogant. I mean, I've never seen somebody get acquitted for a crime that they were so clearly guilty of come out that arrogant. Okay.
I think she's an evil woman.
Yeah, okay. Play
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad.
Yeah, okay. It is terrifying. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. We'll be back in less than 30 seconds. All right, we're back. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, I met up with somebody who was from New York, who's a voter for this Mondani character. But before I get into that, if you don't mind, I'd like to say something about Friendly Mike. Is that okay?
Oh, Friendly Tire? Absolutely.
Yeah, Friendly Mike, as you said a million times, everybody knows he gives you great deals on tires, but he also does tire repairs. You know, most of the places, and you said this before, most places don't want to do repair, and if they do the repair, they want to rob you.
Mm-hmm.
Not Mike. Mike fixed my tire for a fantastically low price, and he did it 1, 2, 3, and now my tire's as good as new.
That's awesome.
So the guy is great. Everybody should go to a Friendly Mike.
Well,
anyway,
let me give Friendly Tire's number, okay, and Margate, and that is 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. All right, I appreciate that.
Certainly worth the trip over there. Anyway, back to this idiot. So I said, we just started talking. He tells me, he voted for mine. I said, you voted for mine, Donnie? What the hell's wrong with you? He said, well, he wants to help the poor people. He wants to build affordable housing. He's not going to affect anybody with money. I said, see, what are you talking about? What about he wants to freeze rent? Well, no, that's the chance you have to take when you own a house. I said, so in other words, what you're saying is it's okay to freeze rent. So now a landlord, if the insurance goes way up as it's going up all over the place, he can't raise the rent to pay. He has to lose money now. Oh yeah, that's the chance you have as a landlord. I said, man, oh man, there's something wrong with you. And then he went over. These people are just absolutely insane. Unfortunately, there's people that can vote in this country that should be allowed to vote. But man, what this guy is just then he starts talking about my Hummer. Oh, there's an environmental nut. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I never mentioned that before. Yeah. Conservative Doug has a Hummer. Big old Hummer.
Yeah. And age too. I got more than that, but that's my main car.
That's his main car. So
anyway,
he's a well-to-do guy.
Yeah,
well, the thing about the thing about these Democrats, I remember my wife and I, we had this idea we were going to rent some property, right? Yeah. And we had this. We never did. And I remember this couple came, and as soon as I saw them, I'm like, there's no way I want this guy using the toilet in my house. There's just no freaking way. But they filled out like the credit form, and one of the questions on the credit form was, have you ever refused to pay rent for any reason? Not only did they check yes, they wrote like a full-page explanation on how the owner didn't live up to their obligations and they were right not to pay rent. I was like, oh my! I called my wife. I said, we're not renting it. No, we're not doing that. Never. Crazy. It's crazy. If this guy would have gotten in the house, they would have ended up owning it. Who knows? But when you're a property owner of any type of property, whether it's an apartment building, condo, or a home that you're renting, what we saw with this SNAP benefits, there are millions of Americans who know how to coast through life on government benefits and not paying their bills. And what renters, like here in Florida, they're going to put on the ballot to do away with property taxes, right? Renters, the renters are going to go out and say, oh, screw the landlord, and vote against it. They don't even understand that the property taxes on a rental property is higher than the home you live in because you don't get the homestead exemption, and that their rent price is as high as it is in part because of the property taxes. They just want to screw the man. People that rent, I know there's a lot of renters in the audience, so I'm not necessarily talking about you, but a lot of people that rent are liberals, especially these New Yorkers, and they feel that they're so entitled, and they don't understand what the owner of the rental property has to lay out to maintain that property. They have no clue.
Everybody thinks that everybody is Elon Musk with billions and billions of dollars. No, a lot of people that have property, certainly some of them use the income that they make from the property as their way of living. So, if they hurt the owners of property, it hurts people a lot more than they think it's going to hurt. These liberals are just take the money from the rich and give it to the poor. Terrible.
Well, that's why our great founding fathers said you had to be a property owner to vote, because they knew that if everyone could vote, the have-nots would vote to redistribute the wealth from the haves to them. Hey, Doug, take care, all right? Yeah. I knew he had a Hummer, but he's never revealed it before. He's a well-to-do guy there, Conservative Doug. And you'd be surprised. He's got muscles. I was surprised when I met Doug. He looks like he works out a lot. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Alicia, and I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Could you speak up, if you don't mind? Speak up a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering if anybody saw the commercial that Mondani put out yesterday after he got voted in, that he wanted everybody who voted for him to send in contributions.
Yeah, and they've raised a lot of money. Yes.
But that's just amazing. Who does that? You get elected, you're going to offer everything free, but then you're asking these very people to send you money.
Well, I was talking about this yesterday, so I'll tell you what I said then, okay? He's got plenty of money, right? And I don't mean he and his wife are millionaires. Both of their parents are millionaires, okay? I'm not talking about personal wealth. He's got his Soros money. He's got his Democratic Socialist money. He's got the Muslim money from the Middle East that's been funneled through to his campaign. The reason he's doing that is so that the people of New York feel an investment, right? Like if they send in $20 or $50, they're invested in his campaign and success. That's why he's doing that. You understand what I mean? It's a propaganda move, and it's right out of the playbook of the commies.
I understand what you're saying, but I just can't. It's like to me, people are just being duped and they don't see it.
Well, liberal voters are always being duped. They're just too stupid to realize that they're voting for things that hurt them.
I agree.
I mean, when have you ever I had a liberal at this event I was at where Eric Trump was yesterday, and I wore my Trump 2028 hat, and he was giving me a hard time, and I said, he obviously he's a man of means because we're at this cryptocurrency event. And I said, well, I bet you take those Trump tax cuts from the big, beautiful bill, don't you? He had never heard anybody say that to him. And he didn't even have a comeback. He was like, he basically said, liberals are stupid. They're just stupid. And they think they're so much smarter than us, but they're dumb.
That is the truth. Well, thank you for what you do, Brian.
Well, thank you. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number's toll free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be back with your calls and much more right after this break. Yep, longest running radio show, absolutely. All right. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. All right. Got so much to cover. Oh, yes, going to get into that. Covered that already. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take the calls when we get back. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. By the way, I announced earlier that MyPillow and Mike Lindell expanded for the next month. So thank you. Please do your Christmas shopping at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane. So I want to make that permanent after the first of the year. So if you guys load up on Christmas, I'll be able to get a permanent arrangement for the early show and everything that they're sponsoring. Okay, I got to get my commercial copy together for when we get back. Okay. All right. Stand by, everyone. All right. Welcome to all the new subscribers, by the way. We're in a radio station commercial right now. This is our top of the hour break. Yeah, this week has been crazy. I have been getting up. I've just been so busy. I've been getting up at midnight, 12:30 in the morning all week, including this morning. And it's really catching up to me. Yeah, yesterday when I went to I was talking to a guy called me earlier from a pretty big YouTube channel, called me up. And I was telling him yesterday, I went, I'm at my home studio now. I went to the radio station yesterday. And when I go to the radio station to live stream on YouTube, I got a permanent studio here at home, but when I broadcast on YouTube from the radio station, I got to take my laptop and some equipment. I left my mic. That's why on yesterday's show, you're having a hard time hearing the callers. I forgot my microphones, everything, my commercial copy. I never forget it because I was just so exhausted. I know I've been going around the clock. And I got a very busy weekend too. Very busy weekend. the show in the morning is as crazy as it sounds, it's my least busy time. And I was talking to the call. I don't have any assistants, any staff, nothing. Okay. Now at the radio station, there's some support, right? We got Mike, the board op. There's salespeople that sell the handle the radio ads. There's production people and stuff like that. But for my podcast and YouTube channel, I have no help, and I do have business meetings pretty much every day with sponsors of the radio show and stuff. And it's just sometimes it gets time consuming. And then I add some things in like this Eric Trump thing yesterday, or going to Halloween Horror Nights on Saturday with my daughter, and it like just builds. All right, stand by. All right, the second hour has begun. I'm Brian. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones on Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Mike from Houston. How are you this morning?
All right, Mike, speak up if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So since it's Open Mike Friday, I just wanted to talk about Tuesday's disappointing results.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised about Zoran winning in New York. The city has been in retrograde ever since Mayor Giuliani left. So its natural de-evolution into socialism and communism is predictable. But it does scare me that it's a beachhead for the left that they will exploit and expand upon. But what worries me or bothers me even more is I'm a former Virginian. And to see the way that, according to my friends back and family back in Virginia, it was a solid blue victory across the state, like right down to like the dog catcher level.
Yep.
And I just don't know what happened to totally repudiate and to just flip over like that. My niece is pretty well connected in Virginia Republican politics, and in fact, I'm kind of hoping to see her run for office here in the next few years. But what I'm getting at is, she said something like 800,000 Republicans, registered Republican voters, did not turn out on Tuesday.
Yep.
And I'm just shocked. It's like, what do you guys think the game ends at halftime? You can't just leave the field, to the opposition, at halftime. So I just don't know what happened. Now, Virginia has traditionally been a Democratic state, I agree, but to vote the way they... So Spamberger is a former CIA type. She is the hell spawn of what would happen if Hillary Clinton and John Brennan copulated. The new lieutenant governor is Muslim. The AG wrote texts that threatened, saying that he wanted to kill his Republican counterparts in the State House and their children. And they elected these people to their. And so what I'm getting at is,
you don't know what happened.
I think you can.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, you're a native Virginian.
Yes, sir.
Virginia, to me, Florida is the best state in the union, okay? I love Florida. But Virginia is a beautiful state. But it's always been the center of Democrat rebellion. The Confederate capital is in Virginia, right? Yep. So, and there really should be a ban, I believe, on these CIA people getting elected to federal government. We have them in Congress and everything and stuff, and it scares me that this Buck Sexton that's on with Clay Travis there for the Replace Rush. He's CIA. I don't like these CIA people getting elected to Congress or becoming a governor. And then we got this Muslim lieutenant governor. But so what happened? Youngkin was really an anti-Trump guy. I don't care what they say now. I know he's but and Winsome Sears was a never Trumper, trashing the president. And President Trump President Trump didn't have a single rally for anybody in this race, which meant his polling data. Okay, so President Trump, while he may have let out some post on Truth that I support this or that person, he didn't have any rallies. He didn't campaign. So there were really no truly MAGA people on the ballots that got defeated.
That's a good point. Yeah, okay. I did not pick up on that. That's actually really... because Virginia's right across the river, and a short helicopter flight you can hit some of the big populations, Richmond, for example. That's a huge. I don't want to use the term omission, but that's not an oversight. That's a subtle statement that was being made. But I just. Like I said, Virginia's always, for the most part, I can only remember 3 Republican governors. I think Broyhill was my first. This is back in the 60s. McConnell. Maybe, was it Robb? But anyway, what I'm getting at is it's usually been blue, but not crazy blue.
Well, it's usually blue because Northern Virginia is where all the bureaucracy live. So they throw the state out of whack, right? Like New York City throws New York State out of whack. But the thing about this last election too, and I think the president mentioned this, all the federal workers are home, so they're motivated to vote. So that their turnout was also higher. I don't know. I'm not saying it's good. But I guess the way it works in Virginia, you got a 1-term limit, and then you can't run again until there's a space. You can run again. You can have more than 1 term, but they can't be back to back for the governor. So if Youngkin would have run for would he have been reelected?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. There's a part of me, the jaded cynic in me, was totally floored that he won the first time because, again, like I said, they tended to be. They tend to drift.
Well, if you remember when he ran, he distanced himself from Trump.
That's true.
And he was very vocal about it.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard Youngkin say anything positive about President
He was in the Oval Office a couple weeks ago for that pharmaceutical deal that President Trump ran. Big pharmaceutical facility is opening, and that British pharmaceutical company is building a major manufacturing plant in Virginia, and he was with the president in the Oval over that. But yeah, you're right. He's always been a rhino type.
Yeah, well, I kind of looked at my wife because we have properties. We still have properties up there. One is over in Loudoun County, a little farmette in Loudoun County.
Yeah.
And that is like the epicenter for the transgender thing. That's where the parents were being arrested at PTA.
Remember they beat up the father whose daughter was sexually assaulted in the girls' room by a transgender male student? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Loudoun County.
Yeah.
That's Loudoun County.
Yeah.
And we also have a little condo over in Alexandria. But anyway, what I'm
How many
getting at
you have more houses than Bernie? You have more houses than Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, but I worked for them.
Exactly.
Brian.
I know.
I didn't go couch diving.
You're not you're not out there. You're not out there promoting communism with 5 houses, right? I don't care. Have 20 houses.
No.
It's America. But don't claim to be a communist and have 10 or 5, or whatever Bernie has.
No, but what we're looking at each other going, because we're in our later 60s now, and it's like we do have to start spooling things off, and we're looking at each other going, we're going to accelerate. I just basically looked at my wife and said, I'm never going back to Virginia. We'll go up and visit family. But as far as property ownership, and because we toy with the idea of maybe moving back, but no, we're staying right down here.
But you know what I wonder when hold on, let me answer all these lines that are coming in. Hold on. I hit the wrong button for everybody. Okay, are you back with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know what I wonder? If we go in Virginia 4 years out with all this purge of the bureaucracy, are a lot of them going to move out of Virginia because they don't work in D.C. anymore? They've thinned out the federal workforce so much.
Yeah, because we have property up there, we watch the market very closely, and a lot of stuff is selling. Now, of course, this is the quiet, the season, the colder months is when the moving drops off, blah, blah, blah. But I've seen properties with discounted values on them that my jaw literally dropped. And then I put 2 and 2 together, and I realized this is a contractor who's lost his job, or this is a government worker who's lost his government job.
Yeah.
And so, there is going to be an impact on the housing market up on D.C., which I think is necessary, to tell you the truth, because the property prices are just horrendously they're outrageous. We could not afford to move back there had we not already properties.
Well, let me tell you, that's the way it is. All right, listen, I got to run for a break, but Virginia's always been, they're the Confederacy now. Just it's like 1860 all over again. That's the center of resistance against the Republican president.
Well, what worries me, Brian, I don't leave you with this last thought. It's growing. California, Washington State, Oregon, New York, Wisconsin, Michigan, and now Virginia.
My biggest concern is that Muslim lieutenant governor. I'm going to tell you, when you're older than me, but not a lot. Maybe you're 10 years older than me or so. And
about
5 years older than me. When I did not know a single Muslim person in my entire life before 9/11. And now they're everywhere. You know what I mean? What happened? Where all they come? I mean, what about you? Yep. I didn't really. I will take that back. There was one Muslim guy that I encountered one time in my life, Amir. I remember him. So in my entire life, up until I was 30 years old, I only encountered one Muslim in my entire life. Now you got the mayor, the lieutenant governor.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, one of the things a little scary down here is in Texas is that community owns an awful lot of convenience stores. I mean, practically every mini mart that you go into in a gas station. It is a quiet yet powerfully influential economic sector down here. And,
people on the right, we don't mind immigrants, but look at Barron Trump and Donald Trump are both first-generation Americans because their mothers are immigrants. But you wouldn't know it.
Right.
And
they assimilated.
Yeah, if you look at
they assimilated.
That's right. If you go back to the early days of The Apprentice, when it first started, when Barron was a little boy, I saw, it was Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood or something, Barron had an accent like his mom. They made sure that didn't
happen. Oh, really?
Big time. But they got rid of that accent, didn't they? That wasn't on accident. That didn't just happen.
And I'll tell you something that seems to have died in the last generation is, because my father was a career naval officer,
Mm-hmm.
you were an American first.
That's
right. You weren't
right.
a Virginian. You weren't a Catholic. You were American.
Correct.
Okay, and now it's like the hyphenated thing. Well, it's like they're trying to hit all the tick boxes.
Well,
blah, blah, blah,
the
blah,
thing
blah,
about because a lot of people, they think, oh, you guys with the Muslims, what are you, racist? See, Muslims are the first group of immigrants to come here to not assimilate. They want us to assimilate to them. Yeah. Right? They want us to assimilate. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have Cubans in Miami or Koreans, but they got their neighborhood, but they're still Americans, and it's cool. They just got their Muslims want us to assimilate to them, and they feel it's a whole nother civilization that they want us to assimilate to, and it's like they're the Borg.
Good luck trying that in Afghanistan or Saudi.
Oh, no assimilate or Iran. Listen, I got to run. I'm late for the break, but I'll thank you for the call.
Okay.
All right, take care. Call us on hold. Stand by. Back after this. Hey. Mm-hmm. You there? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold for a minute. Okay, hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we got just over a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
I thought I was texting my wife, and I was texting somebody else.
I'm having a weird day too.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. Okay. All right. Hold on. All right. Did you have somewhere you wanted to go, or?
Yes, I did. Most definitely have somewhere to go.
All right. Oh my goodness! I got to see the Secret Service in action with Eric Trump yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it later. I mean, really in action. I couldn't believe it. They're like insane. All right, stand by. All right, we're back. Steve Kane joining us a little early. Hey, Steve.
How are you doing this morning?
A little embarrassed. I was texting my wife. I didn't realize I was texting Jupiter Joe Thomas, not my wife. But luckily, there were no "I love yous" in that text. But
well, I gotta tell you, I'm having a strange day today. Don't expect too much from me.
Okay.
But I did want to borrow the audience for a minute to help me get my head straight. It's part of why I'm having a strange day. I woke up this morning. I'd fallen asleep to watching MSNBC because you know me, I go all around the dial.
That's not a good idea.
Well, it wasn't a good idea for me because I saw the most depressing. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm listening to MSNBC do the most depressing show I have ever heard, and it was the Larry O'Donnell show. You know Larry O'Donnell?
Lawrence O'Donnell, yeah, the socialist. Yeah, he's a piece of work. Lawrence O'Donnell.
He is a piece of work, and I'm listening to him. And he's doing a show on the Supreme Court verdict against the tariffs. I'm telling you what I'm watching. What was coming through to me. He announced that the verdict was in. That we had lost. You and I and Trump had lost the verdict 9-0. The tariffs were finished.
No.
He did a whole show on the fact that tariffs were over.
Steve, no.
And
None of that's true.
I'm so depressed.
None of that's true.
Well, finally, I managed to fall asleep. When I got up this morning, I found out none of it was true. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I know our audience, I know a lot of them listen around the clock and around the dial to different shows. What the hell was I listening to at 2 in the morning?
Steve,
it was telling me this Supreme Court verdict.
A couple of things I'll tell you. If you're on hold, stand by. Can I answer for you? I mean, because I know what happened. First of all, when you fall asleep with MSNBC on, that's when they do the brainwashing. Okay, because you're in that twilight stage of sleep.
You're being cute, and I'm being serious.
No, I am not being serious as a heart attack. Okay, the second thing is this: you didn't hear anything because none of that happened or is true. You had them on. You fell asleep to it. You were subliminally hearing them, and you had a nightmare, because none of that happened.
Well, it was so real, I can't tell you. I mean, I still believe what I was watching.
Yeah, that's brainwashing works. The brainwashing.
Well, I don't know what it was, but whatever it is, it shook me up.
There's two possibilities. Either you had a nightmare and were brainwashed, or I'm in denial. So we'll find out from the audience.
Yeah, if anybody was watching at 2 in the morning on MSNBC,
oh my goodness.
The hell was I watching?
Well, that was a replay of the night before, because he's on like at 9 o'clock at night or something.
Well, that doesn't shock me, but what shocks me is he was announcing the verdict could come in.
If there was,
Trump
Steve,
lost.
If Trump had lost that and it was 9-0, you wouldn't have to ask the audience. It'd be the major headline of everything today.
Well, I assumed it was going to be, and then it was nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I guess I just hallucinated.
I've told you before, don't fall asleep to the... at night, when I go to bed, I fall asleep to TV every night. Okay, my
Yeah,
wife.
You're making a joke.
No,
This was
I
serious.
don't. I turn the news off and I watch nice stuff. But when I go to bed and I sleep well. Okay, and you go to sleep listening to those MSNBCers, and it's dangerous.
Well, it was so. It's still in play.
Yeah, we don't have a verdict on that. No, so no ruling came in on that.
Jeez, it was real. I can't tell you how real it was. It was unbelievable.
So real.
I almost didn't come in. I was depressed.
So unreal. It's so real. It's unreal. That could happen. That could happen. I've fallen asleep to things and have dreams and stuff. So
if anyone else was listening at 2 a.m. to MSNBC,
2 a.m.
you don't have to be. We won't yell at you. Don't be afraid to call in and please try to help me get my bearings this morning.
Now, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Life Imaging FLA. You know, November is Men's Health Awareness Month. That's right. It's all about men's health. And Life Imaging FLA is here to help you like they helped me. They're offering free heart scans with just a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. When you go over there, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening for the ultimate peace of mind. I had that, the full body cancer screening and the heart screening. Life Imaging FLA, they're all about proactive health, and they're saving lives through early detection. You know, people like me go in every day and we get peace of mind, finding out no cancer, my heart's clear, my arteries are clear, no plaque, no buildup, nothing. But people go in there every day and find out they've got blockage, and sometimes a lot of blockage, and their life, boom, is saved. Or they find something on the cancer screening, their life saved. Over 4.75 million cancer deaths have been prevented through early detection and screening. So this November, take control of your health. Visit Life Imaging FLA. Start thinking proactively. They have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan, and you will be connected in seconds. All right, callers on hold, you stand by. I'm Brian. Steve's here. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. All right, hold on.
Okay.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320. All
right. If you're on hold, stand by. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back soon. Welcome to the new subscribers. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm there.
Got 1 minute.
What's on now?
What?
What spot is playing now?
I have no idea. I can't hear the recorded spots.
Oh.
All right. All right, 20 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. You want to go to the phone, Steve?
Let's do it now. Again, I'd appreciate anybody call in that was listening late last night to MSNBC. We won't be mad at you. But
Okay.
I just want to find out whether I lost my mind.
Yes. Okay. Now, it is open phones. Remember, guys, open Mega Mike Friday. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's Taj.
Hey, Taj.
Hey, Taj, what's up?
Hey, hi, Steve. How are you? I wanted to call in. I know I believe in listening more than talking. So, but I feel like after all that's happened, I feel like when I called last time, there was a caller after me that had some questions about Islam, and I don't profess to be an expert in it. I try to practice as best I can, but I'm an American first. And that's why I'm.
Well, I'm curious. You know, Taj is Muslims for Trump. You know, and you're a long time listener to the program, so you can comment on that. It is open phones, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on your Muslim brother becoming mayor.
He's not my brother in any way, I got to tell you. And he's not a Muslim. He doesn't seem to stand for anything that Islam professes. Where to even begin? Being for transgender surgery, being for socialism. I mean, our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the biggest capitalist. He was a businessman. He was a man of commerce, of trade. He believed in giving to the poor. If the government takes everything from you and thinks it does a better job than you can, don't you want your charity?
Well, hold on,
money that
Taj.
you have
Let me
to
ask
give
you this. Let me ask you
as
this.
an obligation,
Okay.
go to
Now,
where you want to
I don't know much about the Prophet Muhammad. I mean, I took 2 classes on the history of Islam in college. You know, and Muhammad was also a general and stuff. But what Zohan is doing, he's not bringing those things to the Muslim world. He's using it against the West. So isn't what he's doing with transgender and all these other things, isn't it part of the war against the West to conquer it for his Muslim brothers? Isn't that what he's... So doesn't that make it okay, since he's doing this to people he's at war with, to win the war?
You know, I think that this is such a small portion. I don't really know what goes on in his head. I think that they are just trying to do everything to seize power. I think whatever, like him in particular. And I have to say, when I see people out in the street, I'm thinking, this is not Islam. You're not supposed to interfere with the rights of other people. And if you're in the way of conducting regular business and in civic society, if you can't integrate, and you hit the nail on the head with this, we need more assimilation. There are so many moderate voices that don't speak up. And I want to be like Charlie Kirk, because I wish I had a chance to even talk to him, to have discussion, because we need to have discussion on this, because there's a lot of misunderstanding. The majority of Muslim people are not in favor of anything.
But a lot of Muslims are afraid to speak out like you do, because they're afraid they'll end up like Charlie Kirk.
I don't understand why, and certainly it's not us. And whenever I go to mosque, the message is lead by example. Show them how we live. Show them that we are the.
Well, obviously, we're talking about when we're talking about Zohan, we're talking about a different kind of Muslim, obviously.
Oh, he's not even one, Steve. He's not even.
You know,
one.
Taj, Taj, you're a long-time listener, so I can speak honest with you, and you'll absorb it. You won't like get nuts like some of these callers. Americans are afraid. Let me tell you, Americans are afraid of Muslims, and believe. And I'm not just, I think this is common thinking of Americans. If I'm wrong, you guys can call in and tell me. I think Americans are afraid of Muslims, suspicious of Muslims, and believe that Islam is not compatible with our culture and civilization. And I know it's tough for you as a Muslim, and you're a good guy. We've been talking for years. So I'm not saying this is true about you, but you've got Linda Sarsour, you've got Zohan, you've got Obama, the prominent...
Well, the political Muslims, you're talking about the political Muslims, and they're not the average everyday Muslim.
But they're the ones that have the power.
But that's all right, because they also have the power. They also have the
biggest voice.
Yeah, but in the end, the best thing that Trump has going for him is Zohan. Well, he's got to sit back, as they said in the edition of the paper, let Zohan be Zohan, and everything else will take care of itself.
That's what I said. That was me. I said that.
The truth will be real. Thank you for your call.
Oh, all right. That's the cue to let him go. Okay. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Pete from Oakland Park.
Peter?
Hello?
Yep.
Go, yes. What do you got for us?
Hey, Steve. Good morning. I was just going back to the reference you were talking about with Eric Trump going and seeing him.
Yep.
It brought back a memory for me, because I've known Donald Trump, throughout history, and I always liked his message. Always, he had the same message 40 years ago he's got today. And the one thing, but when he started to run for office, I was like, I don't know, he can't be worse than what we've got. But the one thing that cemented my decision to vote for him was, I was at the time, I was driving a truck across country, 18-wheeler, and I heard Don Jr. on there, and he was talking about his dad, and I thought, man, this young man has got it. He's got it going on. And the one thing that cemented was, he said, look, if you could just come, if everybody in America could come and have supper with me and my father and my family that night, they would see exactly who my dad is.
I remember him saying that. Yeah, I remember that.
And I said, you know what? Anybody that raised a child like that,
that's a great point.
Well, yesterday with the thing with Eric Trump, there was a big at the Seminole Indian Hard Rock, the Guitar Hotel. They had this big cryptocurrency event, and I went. My daughter's very into that. She's she's involved in that crypto NFTs. So I went with her both days. And I got his press passes, actually. So because I was interested. Well, because I wanted to, I like doing things with my daughter now that she left California, but I wanted to see and hear Eric Trump, and I wanted her to. I was so impressed with Eric Trump yesterday. I mean, I was talking about this earlier, Steve. You can judge a man by his children, and I've had the same. I haven't been in the presence of the daughters or Barron, but with both sons. And we've all seen Eric Trump on television. But in person, you really get the vibe. Not only he was there with the two guys that founded his crypto company, American Bitcoin, which I'm going to buy stock in. I was so impressed. He explained the whole thing, and it's amazing. But it's not just how smart he is; it's how normal he is. The Eric Trump, Don Jr. too. They were born multi-billionaires. They could coast through life hooking up with playmates all their life, but they don't. They're smart. Well, and you look at Hunter, but you look at Hunter. That's how Joe and Jill are. You look at Eric and Don Jr. That's how the president is. President Trump should write a. Let me finish, Carl, and then you can go. President Trump. These guys, Steve, are just as down to earth as you or me or anybody in this audience. And President Trump, I hope when he leaves office in 2032 or 6, whenever that is, that he writes a book about parenting, making parenting great again, because you raise kids that have household names that are billionaires. For them to be normal like that, like regular people, that's some accomplishment.
It tells it all.
Yeah. Yes. Well, with Barron, we see, Melania's got her hand on him a lot, and so does Don, the president. But, we didn't see that with Eric and didn't see that with Eric and Don Jr., but
they were on The Apprentice. They were on The Apprentice. I used to watch that. They were on The Apprentice. They were regulars on The Apprentice.
Hey, we appreciate your call.
Well, all right. You're going through the calls quicker, Steve, than I can answer. But let me look at the time. Okay, we got a little bit of hold on, Steve. Let me put you on hold for a second. There's only 10,000 calls coming in right now. This is the point about the Trump children, okay? We've all known, well, you especially, Steve, because you grew up in a wealthy household and going to exclusive country club stuff, right?
Not Trump wealthy, that's for sure.
No, but we've all known in our youth the so-called rich kids, right? Their parents were nowhere near Trump rich, but they were the so-called rich kids. They were the ones with the drugs, having the car accidents all the time, right? You understand what I mean? And we've seen the Kennedys, we've seen the Biden children. For President Trump to have children that are normal and down to earth and relatable,
it really says it all. There's no question.
Yeah, it says everything about him and his character, and we're all our children are all reflections of us, and that's why I know Joe and Jill, both of their kids are nutcases, And with every vice known to man except gambling. I haven't heard about them gambling, but other than that, they've got every vice. So Joe and Jill are scumbuckets too. They just cover it up on television because both of the kids are, right? And when you see the Trump kids, that's how the president is, and their mothers. And he has, so I don't know. I was pretty impressed. It is November 7th. Hey, we're in holiday season, guys. Lose that weight. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation. And I know a lot of people, because President Trump had this event yesterday about these weight loss drugs. Have you seen people, Steve, that take these weight loss drugs? They look like Karen Carpenter. Okay? Yeah. And I'm a big fan of Karen Carpenter, so I'm not giving Karen Carpenter a hard time. One of the greatest American singers. But they don't look healthy. The people that take these pills and these shots and these injections. And another thing about this, not only do you not look healthy, okay, go look at Ryan Seacrest. He's a textbook example, but there's every other celebrity's on this stuff. You have to take that stuff for life, Steve, or you gain the weight back? What the heck? That's crazy. You're going to take shots your whole life and look like that? Coastal Weight Loss Secret, it's natural. I didn't take any shots, no pills, right? And I look normal, right? I look great, like I want to look. I don't look like Karen Carpenter. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. We have had listeners from all over the United States call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, so they can help you no matter where you are. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. You have plenty of time to get the weight off before your first holiday party. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, I want to put you on hold, Steve, for a minute. All right, hold on.
You got it.
Oh, boy. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with your calls and everything else.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
This is George Colony. I'm in the real estate business in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Kai's Real Estate. I've been in business for 6 decades. People often ask me, what's the right time to buy or sell real estate? To tell you the truth, it's always the right time. You just need to have the right advice from the right advisor. You could call me anytime because I answer my phone on the first ring. My number is 954-801-7320. That's my personal cell phone number. And I answer it on the first ring every time. Please give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. My cell phone number is 954-801-7320.
All right, we're in break on the radio still. Okay, we'll be back. I don't know what happened there. That can't be right, but... Now I'll take a call while we're waiting to come back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie. Good morning, Steve.
Oh, hold on a second, Richie. Hold on. All right. Okay, I'll take Richie after. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. This is Danielle from Michigan.
Hey, Danielle.
Hi there. I just wanted to make a quick comment to try to make Steve feel better.
Oh, well, I'll
Hey,
take. You know what? I'll
Steve.
take your call after the break. We're still in break on the radio for just over a minute, so we'll go to the phones. I'll take you and Richie when we
Yeah.
get back. All right, hold on. They both want to talk to Steve, so I'm going to wait for Steve. All right, Steve, you there?
Yeah.
All right, we got a minute.
Okay.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. You want to go back to the phone, Steve?
Yeah, I did. I figured out the answer to my question.
Yeah.
They pre-taped that show with Lawrence on the verdict, assuming they knew it was how it was going to turn out. And even though it didn't turn out that way by time for the program, they played it anyway by mistake.
Okay, maybe.
That's what happened.
Maybe. Okay, all right, we'll find out what the callers say. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian, it's me, Danielle from Michigan.
Hi, Danielle.
Just wanted to make a really good morning. Just wanted to make a really quick. I had to step away from a quick comment to Steve. Steve, are you there?
I'm there.
I don't listen at 2 a.m. like you listened, and I don't normally watch that show. But let me just kind of put your mind at ease a little bit. Even if they come back today, because a decision will probably be today, could be. Even if it comes back and it's not in our favor, and if it's negative, we have to believe and know that 45, 47 has a very good backup plan. They have very good backup plans in place for all of this. So just try to put your mind at ease, knowing that, they're planning planning for that if something doesn't come back that's in our favor. So that's all I wanted to say to you, because I worry.
Well, I appreciate it.
Too, but just try to take a deep breath like I am and keep the faith and try not to
I do
too and watch that. That stuff is.
I don't view that election. We haven't talked much about the election this morning, but I don't view it as much trouble as some people are experiencing it as being a disaster. I think Zohan is going to self-destruct. I think all we have to do is sit back and let Zohan be Zohan. And I think after a year of Zohan, they're going to be we're not going to have to tell anybody that it's time for him to go, but when the next election comes up.
Oh, I totally agree. So just kind of.
And I really appreciate your caring.
All right, appreciate the call. Very nice lady. We have, it's we have some nice people out there. All right, back to the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, what a joy.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. Friday, I get to talk about what I want. Well, I kind of work the polls. I work the polls every time we have an election. And I really had
that in and of
really
itself
good
is
time
scary.
with a MAGA person that worked with me. We had some really serious talk. And boy, he couldn't believe that he couldn't match nothing that I had to say, like the dummy Brian.
Well, that's interesting.
Y'all can't match
that
nothing
double.
I say
Hey,
either.
Steve. You've got the you've got that vocabulary and language skills. He said, "Don't do nothing." That's a double negative. That means they shot down
Who
everything he
gives
said.
two craps? Who
That
gives
means
two
that they.
craps
That
about a
means that
double
they.
negative?
That well,
Only
two.
you.
That means that they
Only you
bested
care
you.
about a double negative. Okay, let me finish saying what I'm saying. You say stupid. You say stupid stuff.
Boy.
You just say
I'm
stupid
down
shit.
there. You
Who
give
cares
yourself
about
a stroke.
Oh my goodness, he's hysterical.
No, because you say stupid things. You just say
Well,
the
just calm
dumbest
down.
stuff.
Get on. I apologize for interrupting you. Get on with the stupid thing you were saying. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I would love to say the stupid things that I wanted to say.
Oh,
well, go ahead.
A lot of Republicans that came into the polls that day, the other day, voted Democratically.
How do you know?
Because they said it.
They said it. So they had MAGA hats
They
on,
said it.
and they said, "I'm MAGA and I'm voting Democrat."
And guess what? Well, why do you think?
Why are
no
you?
Republicans
First of all,
won anywhere?
I this is interesting. You may have confessed a crime. Why are you, as a poll watcher, interacting with the voters? You're not supposed to do that.
The rules aren't for him. You must understand.
That's against the law. You're not to interact with
He's a
voters.
Democrat.
Exactly. The hell?
Rules are
That's
for
right.
other people.
I think you broke the law,
That's
maybe.
right. The rules are for other people. The rules are for other people. When I hear
The rules
people
are for other
standing in the
people.
room, when I hear people standing in the room talking to each other, saying that they're going the opposite way, they're not talking to me. They're talking to another dumb Republican standing over there with them. They're not talking to me. They're talking to somebody else.
See, this is.
Did you notice that no Republicans won?
Jay.
Did you notice no Republicans won?
Jay.
So why aren't you happier, Jay?
Exactly. You should be celebrating.
I am happy.
You sound happy to me. You sound like the same miserable hoot that you've always been.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm calling to tell you dummies that y'all's reign is almost over.
Whose reign?
No one wants you MAGA Republicans in charge of anything. Even though you
Keep telling
are,
yourself that.
Did the
no
president
one wants that.
Okay. If
y'all have
did
destroyed
the president
America.
went in the last election?
You've destroyed America,
All right.
and you've destroyed the world.
Okay, we've destroyed the world. Did the president win New Jersey, Steve? I don't think he did. So I don't know what they think they flipped.
They're basically blue states in that area.
Exactly. So the Democrats beat themselves. What does that mean? I mean, these are blue states. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional. You guys in New York, listen up. All right, you can call this number. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring for just $24.95 a month. But get this, for 5 years, all you have to do is call 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Your Sloman's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access so you can check in anytime from anywhere. Sloman's Home Security is protecting families nationwide, so no matter where you are, give them a call, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. All right. I'm going to go back to the phone, Steve, all right?
Yes.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, Vincent Wellington.
Hey, Wellington, what's up?
Yeah, it's crazy the disparity in Jay's voice over there in Jersey. He should be happy that his people won and take the victory or whatnot, but he's got to go and take digs.
He's never happy.
That's all he's
never happy.
Pressure out of it. Yes, exactly. Like a woman. Never happy, Jay.
Like a woman.
But that's just a dig at him.
Like a liberal woman. Like a liberal woman who's been divorced twice.
I was calling in to talk about how he was trying to measure up about how he spoke to a MAGA person and all this. There's no MAGA person that's going to vote for a Democrat. We already know
exactly
what they stand for. They stand for the murder of children. They're openly against America, and the real reason why we are watching what we're watching is because these people had to sit at home. All these government workers had to sit at home, and now they're so raspy and angry that the government's still not open. Like nobody's working in their favor. The Senate gets to sit at home for this whole holiday season, collecting their checks.
Well, let me tell you. Hold on. With Jay from Jersey. Now let's assume his story was true, which I think is highly suspect. Okay, but if his story's true, what we heard was illegal campaigning. I'll tell you what I mean. The liberals' new talking point is, I voted for Trump, but I can't do it anymore. You know, so if what he said was true, these were Democrat activists breaking federal election laws, campaigning at a polling location.
Let me just ask you, what do you think the chances are that what he said was true?
Zero.
Zero.
The whole story was made up. But, you know, anyway, go ahead, Wellington. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's okay. The Democrats themselves have no leadership, so they're trying to cling to whatever little gaslighting they can do to make it sound like they have some type of relevancy through Zorhan and through these little mini elections that nobody.
Well, I had a story in the first hour. I don't know if you were listening in the first hour. Listen to this, Steve. Zohan only received 14% of the registered voters' vote in New York. They had an incredibly low turnout. He only got 14% of registered voters voted for him in New York City.
It'll be bigger next time, I'll tell you.
That's not a Mom Donnie mandate. That's
the vote against him, it will be tremendous.
Unless they move 10 million Muslims there.
Those people are going to run out of New York like Escape from New York, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right.
And then what are they going to do? They're going to have nobody there to supply this dream that he sold them.
That's right.
So he will implode, and I'm good with that. So yeah, that was my comment.
Appreciate the call. I might watch Escape from New York this weekend. I love that movie. You like Escape from New York, Steve?
Snake Plissken, sure.
Yeah, the sequel, Escape from L.A., is not so good, but the original is great. Have you seen the deleted scene of the bank robbery escape that sends him to the prison?
No.
Oh, yeah. Who does those movies? Who did that movie? What's his name? The director that did Escape from New York. Not Wes Craven. Oh, boy. My mind just went blank.
It escapes me. I'm embarrassed.
He did They Live, too. He did They Live, The Thing. I'll think about it during the break. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top and be right back. Hold on, Steve. Okay. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. Hold on.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
All right. Okay. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm waiting. We're in our top of the hour break on the radio station. Yeah, John Carpenter. John Carpenter. I'm just waiting for Mike to tell me when we're going to be back. Okay. Less than 2 minutes. All right, we'll be back in about 90 seconds, Steve.
Sounds good.
John Carpenter, that was the name I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Who played Snake Plissken?
Kurt Russell, everybody knows that.
That's correct.
They're remaking that.
The mistake.
Yeah. Do you remember who the warden was? The actor that played the warden?
No. Who?
Oh, son of a gun.
Ernest Borgnine, Donald Pleasance.
No, Donald Pleasance was the president. Donald Pleasance was the president.
Lee
Right.
Van Cleef.
That's right.
Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef. That's right. Hold on. Hold on one second. Yeah, Lee Van Cleef was the warden.
Who?
Lee Van Cleef was
Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah, he was the warden.
It was a great movie. Mistake to remake it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Okay.
It will never match the original.
Mm-mm. You know, but John Carpenter writes all the music for his movies, and I saw him online over the weekend. He does concert tours, and he plays all his music. It's all instrumental, but it's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he writes all
That's
that
amazing.
music. Yeah, he writes all the theme songs from his movies. He's done. Hold on.
And they all sound alike, by the way.
Hold on. Okay. All right. You there, Steve?
I'm here.
Okay. Hold on. 10 seconds. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve, of course, is here. I'm Brian. And it is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. Oh, let me tell you about the Secret Service with Eric Trump, Steve. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I've been around the Secret Service many, many times. This is my first time post Charlie Kirk assassination. Okay. Holy smokes. Okay. He's this event at this cryptocurrency thing. It was a small room on a small stage that Eric was on. And when he was done, people go to the stage. They want to shake hands with him. Steve,
right.
Without blinking, you would have missed the wall. The Secret Service appeared out of nowhere, forming a wall around Eric Trump. That I don't even know where they came from. I saw the Secret Service there while he was talking. But when people went up to the stage when he was done to shake his hand, Eric said, I'm not allowed to do that. And then, but the Secret Service, he was on the stage above everybody. The Secret Service had a wall in front of him instantaneously. It was like if a genie cast a spell and poof, they were there. And they were not playing around. They were pushing people back. And they were mean about it. They weren't, this was... Yeah, I had not seen the Secret Service I've seen them with the president since they shot him in Butler, okay, in the golf course, and it's crazy up there at Mar-a-Lago. But I haven't seen them around one of the family. First time I've seen them around the family since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. These guys do not play. And these, by the way, are a new breed of Secret Service. These aren't those. Remember that fat woman in Butler that couldn't find her holster? None of that crap.
Yes.
These were bad dudes. And I mean, I was blown. I've never seen the Secret Service do this before. They were pushing people back and like, get back, and they were mean about it. It was crazy. But the assassination of Charlie Kirk has changed everything. It was amazing.
Well, I think it started before Charlie.
Oh, well, I saw before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I went up to see the president in the I made a YouTube video about this. At least 55,000 of you have seen it. A lot of people have watched this video. The way the president used to do it in the presidential limo, the Beast, he would have them drive at like idle speed and come up to the curb and wave at everybody. But since they shot him, the presidential limousine drives at full speed from the airport to Mar-a-Lago. It's like a blur. I mean, full speed, which isn't as fast as your car or my car because it's armored. It's like a tank. But it goes so fast you can feel the wind hit you. They just, I mean, so, but the reason I share this is it's important. The reason the Secret Service are acting this way is because Democrats, the Never-Trumpers shot the president. They tried to do it again, and the Never-Trumpers assassinated Charlie Kirk. I mean, you Democrats and Never-Trumpers, look at what they're putting this family through. And they want to talk about they got some mandate. They're out there shooting and killing our people. And it's just, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You really should be ashamed of yourselves. All right, you want to take some more calls? Oh, did I lose you, Steve? Hold on, let me see. Do I got you? Steve, are you there? Okay, I'm going to have to call Steve during the break. Hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Bob from Boise, and I'd just like to say Trump is still a felon. And has Tom Holman taken any more bribes lately, or is he still working out the first one he took? $50,000. So when are you going to come to the realization that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by some right wing in the party people?
Yeah, he was assassinated by somebody like you, some angry Democrat. Oh my goodness! See what I mean with these people? It's beyond imagination the way they talk about it. Here we are. We're talking about what happened with Charlie Kirk, and first call is just a guy filled with rage. That's how these Democrats are. Okay, hold on. Oh boy! All right, Steve, we got you back. You didn't miss much, just some liberals' venom. All right, I'm gonna go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. Good morning, Brian and Steve. How you doing?
Hi.
Good.
Great. Listen, I've been following you for 40 years, and I couldn't agree with you more about. I'm the ex-CIA guy and C-130 pilot. But my experience in the CIA I agree with you. They should have nothing to do with politics, not a damn thing.
Well, what happened is apparently this new governor of Virginia has got a CIA background, and they got some CIA in the Congress too. Yeah.
I know, and I object to it like you do. But another thing, Clay and Buck suck, if you don't mind me saying that.
Clay and Buck suck.
You are so much
Just
better.
don't say it too fast.
Yes.
You're very kind, sir.
Okay.
Buck is CIA. Buck Sexton's CIA.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I don't agree with him on the air either.
Let me ask you this question. I listened to them when they first started. They did suck. I haven't listened to them in a couple of years, but you believe they continue to suck?
Yes, I actually stopped listening to them weeks ago.
Yeah, this show's much better.
They're boring as hell.
Well,
they're boring.
I'll just throw this out, okay? Rush Limbaugh, amazing program. with a huge reach. They replaced them with this Clay and Buck.
Yeah.
Do you think it's appropriate to have, and I wonder what Rush would think, to have a CIA analyst take over his show, Buck Sexton?
He would not like it, of course.
No. I mean,
My God.
It's and the thing about Buck Sexton, I've heard him. I remember I used to hear him as a guest. Like I think he was on with the Blaze or something. I've heard him as a guest, and he's a good guest. But there's a difference between being a guest and a host.
Yes.
And I think if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, his background is sports.
No, that's
So
Clay. Clay is sports.
That's Clay.
Clay is sports. Buck is CIA.
I think both of them come from a background of sports.
Buck Sexton's CIA. He's a CIA analyst. The other guy's a sports talk.
The sports thing.
Clay is a sports talk.
Get on a sports station. For God's sakes, get on a sports station, right? But anyway, we miss Rush, and I miss Neil Rogers and Bob Grant, and well, I go way back with you guys.
Well, you
Those are the old days.
We'll have a seance sometime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Yeah. No. Clay is the sports talk guy, and Buck is CIA.
Well, I think both of them have a background in sports.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
maybe, but you're right. I haven't listened to them in a long time, so I can't render an opinion on how they currently are. But I do see sometimes on Fox, Clay Aiken there is on Fox every once in a while. All right, let's see. Oh, we got time for some more calls. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's Greg. Hey, listen, a couple of items, and I'd like to throw a question to Steve at the end and hopefully let him answer. But Brian, I love that fraud you perpetrated yesterday in our call. I'm meeting with a Trump relative tomorrow. No, you were at a conference of hundreds of people.
You don't know who I met. You don't know who I met.
No, but anyone could.
You have no. You don't know who I met.
No, but you.
Not anybody. I had a press pass and an invite.
Oh, but
I had two press.
okay.
I did request a press pass for my daughter.
All right, which is fraud too, right?
No. She helps me. She helps me on my YouTube. She helps me on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay, you can write like.
She does all. My daughter does all the technical stuff for my YouTube channel. She's a part of the production team.
Oh, so you actually have an assistant. Your claim to fame now is your
my daughter. Yeah, my assistant is I text my daughter and FaceTime her. I can't get this thing to work. What do I do? Yes.
Well, hopefully you're paying her. Now, Steve, I have a question for you, for your esteemed colleague, and I use that term loosely. Steve, here's the question. Brian is afraid to let you talk one-on-one. Do you believe Brian said, and he'll probably lie about it now, that most, and I mean most means a majority of Americans are afraid of Muslims?
Really?
Not major. No.
So really, most Americans will get on an airplane. There's 5 Muslims on board and Muslim guard. They have no worries.
No, listen.
Well, anytime I get on a plane, I worry.
Well, that's afraid of Muslims right there. Yeah. I would get off that plane.
No, listen. He said anytime he gets on a plane, he has a fear of flying.
I'd get off that plane. I wouldn't fly with Muslims on the plane like that. No way.
You know what? You're adding a great addition to your resume.
Oh, so you agree with that? You're afraid to fly with Muslims. So I guess you're the bigot.
I'm not afraid of Muslims.
Really?
I don't. I'm not afraid of Muslims. I don't walk
So
down the street.
So you would fly you'd fly on a plane if 5 Muslims got on board after you got on board, and Muslim garb, you'd be no problem flying on that plane.
Absolutely. So you're telling me if it was
Nobody believes that.
No. You know what? So you're telling me you're gonna?
Yes, I'm telling you. Yes, I'm telling you. Yes, I'm telling you that. Yes.
You're a joke. You're a joke.
I'm a joke.
Listen, you're a joke, and you're pathetic.
I'm a
like
joke.
You called me yesterday. You know, I'm getting off a flight because I see 5 Muslims aboard.
Yes, I would deplane. I would deplane. Yes.
Well, guess what? You have issues. I go.
Yeah, like I like to live. I want to live. I want to live. Okay.
That's what I wanted to breathe.
I don't want to die.
But Steve disagreed with you.
No, I don't think so, Steve. Would you? What if 5 Muslims got on a plane with you, Steve? Would you get off?
I don't get on planes.
There you go. See, I used to fly a lot before 9/11.
No, Steve. Steve, are you afraid of Muslims in general? Like if you're walking down a street.
No, I'm afraid of planes in general.
Yes, Muslims and planes.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
We've established that. No, but Brian, you know what? You're idiot. You're just
What
idiotic.
what am I?
So,
What am I?
listen, you're a sexist. You're a bully. Now you're xenophobic, and you throw out these comments. Oh, most Americans are afraid of Muslims. That's not true. Are most of our Americans afraid of Japanese because of Pearl Harbor?
That was over 80 years ago. Time has passed.
Hey, but so do you think most Americans are afraid of Japanese? How long?
Not
how long was
not
9/11?
today. Not today, but there was a time.
How long was 9/11 ago? Most people you actually tout on your radio show, Brian, and I'll expose you once again that most people
You've
don't
exposed
even
me?
remember 9/11.
When did you
Yes,
expose
for the
me?
liar.
I've been
Well, first of all,
exposed.
you didn't meet with that. You didn't meet with Eric Trump.
You don't know who I met. You don't know who I met.
Because you would have been bragging about it.
No,
Of course.
I
You
meet
said you
people.
went there
I
with
meet
your dog,
people.
you got two-
Greg, I meet people all the time that I don't brag about. I'm not a bragger.
And by the way, do you know what Bitcoin's trade? That American Bitcoin's trading at that you want to buy?
At the moment, no.
You go. So you're already saying, see, once again, you're a fraud. Oh, I'm going to buy American Bitcoin. You didn't even look up what.
I
it's
looked
trading
at it. I
It's
looked at it when I
$4.
was there, and it looked like it'd gone down a little bit. That's a buying opportunity. You buy on the dip,
How much-
stupid.
how much
Oh
you
my
buy?
goodness. Does
He
he?
certainly have pushed his buttons.
Oh my goodness. He was pretty hysterical there. He's pretty
Does he go
hysterical.
on?
Yeah. It's time for a commercial.
Oh, okay, can't argue with that.
The Eric Trump thing just sent him over the edge.
You do have a way of pushing people's buttons.
I don't mean to. I just, I'm look. There's
I know.
there's this story in Breitbart, and this story is in a lot of places today. Florida real estate surges as New Yorkers.
Oh yeah, big time.
Nervous about Mamdani or fleeing to Florida. And I want to, of course, talk about George Colony, who joined us on the program yesterday. And didn't I tell you, Steve, when you talk to George Colony, you're talking with a businessman who understands not just real estate, but business and money. And the way that he talks about real estate is outside the box than any real estate agent I've ever heard before. Never heard anybody talk the way he talks because he's a businessman, not just a real estate agent. And it's a whole nother thing. So
that's for sure.
But he doesn't just do home sales. He does every type of real estate transaction there is, which includes, your home, and it could be your house, could be a condo, could be a commercial property. If you are a property owner who rents, he can help you with that. But you know what else he does? He can help you if you're selling your business, which is a new thing. We haven't really talked too much about that. But if you're looking to sell your business, he can help you with that too. But I know this, George Colony has been in real estate my whole life here in South Florida. That's why when I was introduced to him by Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing, and I knew the name right away. And I told him, I was like, I know your name. And he says, well, you've probably been seeing it. He said, you're from Fort Lauderdale? I said, yeah, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. He's like, well, you've probably seen my name all over town your whole life. And you know what? Then boom. Yeah, I've seen his name all over town my whole life. So if you are looking to buy or sell and you're in Florida, give George Colony a call. But if you're out of town and you're thinking about moving to Florida, give George Colony a call too. And we met him through Tom Laporta. So like Tom Laporta, he gives out his cell phone number. You can call or text George Colony, 954-801-7320. 954-801-7320. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute, Steve. Hold on. Did you guys see how unglued Greg 2 was there? What drove him over the edge today? I mean, he was really not doing well today. back in 1 minute. All right, Steve, we'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, man.
That's what happened with that show I saw.
No, you dreamed.
They recorded it. They recorded it anticipating a win.
No.
And they played it even though before the win happened.
It was live.
That's what happened.
It was live at 9:00, and you fell asleep. And they were, I guess, maybe they were talking about what could. I don't know.
I listened for a half hour to the show.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, we got 30 seconds. Boy, Greg was just unhinged.
Oh, he's a great caller.
He's a good caller. He's a good caller, but he's a little emotional.
A little, you might say. You push his buttons, that's for sure.
I don't know why.
I can't imagine why.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Back to the phones. We shall go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Richie.
Hey, good morning, Steve. This is Richie.
Richie,
I
how are you?
Like Greg, too. Fine. Greg, too, is a little nuts, first of all.
Yeah.
And I agree with Brian. I'm not afraid of Muslims. I don't think Brian's afraid, but he's cautious.
Yes.
It's like when you got to go into a bad neighborhood, you look over your shoulder because you don't want to
You
get
roll up
bugged.
the windows and lock the doors. Yeah.
Right. If you're in London, Greg, too, you would be walking down the street. Most people in London are afraid of them because they're afraid of getting stabbed.
You know, I don't ride my Vespa down Hammondville Road.
No. I want to bring something up that you guys, and I think both of you going to agree with this, and I want to know your solutions. President Trump, we all know, politically is better than any of them.
That's right.
He's 10 steps in front of everybody, okay? He has internal polling that he sees that this lockout, this government lockout, has affected his numbers, and it has. And the press, they're all trying to blame Republicans. The average American, that now not just the food stamps, today 10% of the airlines are cut back. We're running into Thanksgiving holiday.
Richie, I made a big screw up, so I got to put everybody on hold, okay? But just hold on, guys. I'll get everything straight. I apologize, but I messed up and made a technical error on the air today. I've had a long week, okay? So everyone's got to bear with me here. But if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get everything back under control in a minute. It is Open Mag and Mike Friday. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Hey there. Okay. All right. And what we're going to do is, Steve, you there? Okay. Hold on. All right. And we're going to go to, hold on, put everybody on hold. All right. See, I told you I messed everything up today. Hold on. All right. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel. I apologize to everybody. Technically, I'm messing everything up today. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today, Brian?
I'm not doing well. I'm very disoriented. Maybe I got to review my my revocable living trust because maybe I'm losing my faculties. What do you have us today for us today, Barry?
Well, one of the things you've heard me talk about at the workshops and on your show is about the importance of updating.
Oh, yes.
And having an updating plan. Just, we update almost everything we do in life, whether it's doctors, with our health, whether it's CPAs with our taxes, financial advisors with our portfolios. And of course, with our estate plans, things change from the moment you sign it. Life goes on. Things are going to change in your life. Things are going to change financially. Some of your choices may have changed, all of those things. And even the laws change. That's why we do for our clients a 3-year review, a free 3-year review. Every 3 years, our clients are called by our office and say, just like you would from a doctor's office, and say, hey, it's time for you to come in for your free checkup, your free review. So for the many clients who've come our way through your show, for those of you who have not come in for your reviews, you really need to. It's time to come in. It's a free review. We're going to look at everything. We're going to ask you a few questions, make sure all your assets are properly titled in your trust, make sure everything's exactly how you want it, make sure nothing has changed that's important to address. And that way you can sleep at night, know that you have an estate plan that works when you need it.
Yeah, and by the way, that free review, you recommend people have their revocable living trust reviewed every 3 years, right?
Yeah, we like to review them every 3 years.
Yeah, and boy, you find stuff. Like I remember when we first met you, you reviewed Steve's, and Steve, your trust was it was a trusted name only. It was so not just that your trustee was dead, but you had grandkids that were not even born, that were totally cut out because they, and there had been divorces and all kinds of stuff, and it would have been a mess for your family if you hadn't gotten a review.
You'd be surprised how often these kinds of things happen, where either the trustee is no longer living or somebody's name there has their ex-spouse still as a trustee. All these things that happen regularly, and
oh my
because
goodness,
people don't take the time to review these, and they just forget about it. They said it, they forget it, they put the documents away somewhere, and then it's like years go by and they didn't realize that some of these choices they made years ago are still in place. So if something happens, they have the wrong people in the wrong seats.
I would not be surprised. I've heard of ex-wives inheriting things, and the husband's remarried. I've known where this has happened, and I bet you sometimes the ex-wife, she's remarried, and her new husband inherit and I'm sure I'm sure those exes do the right thing though and say, no, we want the new wife to have everything, right? I doubt that happens very often. No.
Yeah, so you have to be real careful to make sure that your assets don't end up going sideways to another family's bloodline.
That's
when
right.
Your intention was for it to go to your own family, and those things can happen very easily if you don't have the right planning in place.
That happened with your dad, Steve.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. All right, listen, give Attorney Barry Siegel a call. Schedule the free review of your documents. It's 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Hey, Barry, have a great weekend.
All right, you guys have a great weekend.
All right, take care. You and I were talking during the break, and I just lost track of everything. So so we're really messed up on our schedule this hour. It is my fault.
I noticed.
Well, it's my, hey, I'm confessing. Okay, I screwed up.
You did really well up till now.
I screwed
really
up.
Well today.
Hey, I screwed up. Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm confessing. Oh boy, I tell you. You know what I hate? Because I started out as a board op, I got all kind. What most people do is they blame the board op. The board op, Mike, the board op, actually texted me and said, "Hey, you're supposed to be talking to Barry, Brian. What's going on?" So I appreciate that, Barry. You remember with the board ops, the board op we have now, Steve, is the only board op we've had that isn't sabotaging the show. I'm telling you, we've had a lot of board ops over the years. They all, in some way, shape, or form, sabotage the show, except Mike, who we have now. He's very good. So, Richie, you're on hold. I stopped everything in progress. We're going to take our break, and for the last half hour, we're going to be on schedule, okay? It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve's here. We'll be right back. All right, hold on, Steve. Richie, you there? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to you after the break, all right?
Yeah, no problem,
okay,
Brian. It's okay.
Hold on. Hey, what are you going to do? I screwed up. What am I going to do? Give me a break. I told you, I'm like exhausted, right? I was talking about this at the beginning of the show, like around right before 6. Yesterday, I had to do the show from the radio station, right? And if you were watching yesterday, maybe you're having a hard time hearing the callers and Steve, I left at home my microphones, my commercial copy, all the phone numbers that I have to give out when I do commercial. I left everything at home, and because I've been doing too much. What I really need is our cruise to be next week, not in March. Hold on, I got to check Richie. Richie, is this you? Hello? I don't know. Okay, are you there?
This is JJ.
JJ, you hold on. Richie, you there? Okay, he put the phone down. Okay. Okay, we got a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm just exhausted, and it's affecting my brain. When I leave, when I go to the radio station, I have to take my live streaming stuff with me. I checked and I always check like 10 times. I checked in the car, and I was like, oh, my bag is lighter. I don't know why. I got everything, and I got to the radio station. I didn't have my microphones. I didn't have anything. Now, but I got to keep on trucking until March on the cruise. Okay, we got 1 minute. All right, Steve, you there? Steve, I lost everybody. Where'd everybody go? Steve, are you there? Oh, I'm glad I checked in. I got to call him back. Yeah, okay, you there? Okay, you there? Yeah, we're still in break, so hold on. All right, Steve, we have 30 seconds.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I just forgot to call Barry. I just got distracted and forgot to call. I lost track of the time. I thought it was the top of the hour, not the quarter break.
You going to the calls?
Yep, absolutely. We are back, and every line on the board is lit, Steve. And maybe it was me letting everybody know that I've lost my mental faculties. They think they can have their way. I don't know, but every line lit up during the break. And all right, I told Richie we go back to him. You're on the air. What's your name? Is this Richie?
Hey, no. This is Scotty.
Oh, hey, Scotty. Well, you're up. I'm sorry, Richie. You're on the air.
That's all right. Listen, the other day, you do your impersonations, right?
No.
No. Remember the Mark Levine?
That's right. Yes, I said it. Yes.
Okay. No. But you know what? That sounds more like Jimmy Cagney.
Well, that's how Mark Levin sounds. And Nick Fuentes.
Okay. That's true. I'm glad Steve's there to keep you on your toes, because at least you know.
I do my best.
You know,
I know you do, Steve.
You know, the thing, there's this war going on between Mark Levin, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Megyn. Tucker Carlson snapped at Megyn Kelly when she was interviewing him yesterday. Did you see this, Steve?
No, I did not.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I missed that, too.
Oh, my goodness. They were at some event where they were on stage together speaking, and she was interviewing Tucker. And she was asking him why he did this and that with Nick Fuentes. And he said, well, why don't you interview him? I'll give you his cell phone number. You're not my producer. I was like, what? She laughed, but she was pissed. I mean, he really barked at her. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Probably the most exciting moment in the show.
Yeah, it was the most exciting, yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Knocking my Mark Levin imitation. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. You missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Stephen. My name is JJ from Mass.
Oh, hey, JJ.
Hey, guys.
JJ, what's up?
Well, Steve, that 2 a.m. experience of yours, I was up at that time, but I didn't have the same experience, but I did watch some clips. I was looking at, when you go in and you start looking at legal stuff on YouTube or whatever, they'll throw up other clips. But I was looking into the Alvin Bragg, the Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, that collusion delusion they had,
right.
The New York State, it's the 34 counts and all that crap. But I saw some of your those 34 fraudulent charges with Trump. But I did see some of it, and I think, it was. I just looked. I watched some of it, and I was just shaking my head. I mean, I was wide awake.
Oh, okay. So Steve did not dream it; it happened.
No,
I'm telling you, I know what. I figured out what happened. I figured out with the help of kind help of our audience. What happened is they had pre-recorded an hour crowing about the victory that they didn't have yet, but they figured they'd be the first in line when the story broke.
Okay.
And they played it by mistake, even though the story hadn't broken yet.
Is that what you saw,
happened.
JJ?
Yeah. It hasn't been decided yet. I was looking at them, and I just thought the crack might have been extra strong that day with those guys. But I just watched a few of the clips. It's MSNBC, so. I watched a little bit of that MSNBC.
So is Steve's memory right?
Yeah, I believe I've seen clips of it. I saw clips of it.
You know what this is, Steve? You know what this is? It's ageism. Because when you get to be your age and something happens, people just assume because of your age, right? You know what I mean? It's ageism. So
I think what really happened, Steve, is that listen, you said you were sleepy, you were tired. I mean, you are an experienced guy in politics and with everything you've done in your life. And I think, most people, when they're fully awake, especially you, Steve, are pretty much on guard for deception and that type of tomfoolery.
Well, I just assumed it was done. I believe the propaganda hour they created.
Yeah, you were. I think you.
It didn't dawn on me till I got my New York Post in the morning, and the first thing I did was look at the front page because it was obviously going to be a front-page story, and it wasn't there. And then I called my guest producer, Trish, my wonderful sister, who's in town visiting and guest producing the show this week, and she straightened it all out for me. But I'm sure there are other people who were equally confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, I had my cup of coffee. I'm watching it, and quite honestly, it might have been a couple other. I think I saw some other videos about people talking about it. Just that everybody starts throwing in their 2 cents about trying to get, stirring up the story, stir the pot to get the views. Like Trump's going to lose the tariff power, the world is going to end, and that's the.
Well, I mean, I'm still thoroughly convinced that's going to happen. I can't bring myself to believe a professional news outlet would release something.
See, you're talking about MSNBC. You're talking about MSNBC.
Yeah, that's the point.
It's not professional.
They were going about they're talking about the Supreme Court. I listened to a lot of the Supreme Court, the questions that were being asked, and
that's the whole thing. It was about the Supreme Court.
That's all,
yes.
Yeah, that's all.
When MSNBC when it started, they used to take live calls like we're doing right now. When it first, I used to call in all the time. All the shows, they took live calls from viewers on MSNBC. I don't know if anybody remembers it. I used to call in almost every day. Yeah.
You were a great caller.
Yeah, I'm a very good caller. Yeah, I wish they still took calls over there.
Yes, you are. You're a good caller.
Oh,
that's funny.
I've been banned from the most popular shows in America because I humiliate them. Let me ask you guys this. This is a very important question. Are you in pain? Well, if you are, you need to go see Dr. Appleton and talk to him about his robotic laser away pain treatment. The thing about the robotic laser, it works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. And Steve, I meet listeners all the time that are living pain-free because of Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. And when they walk up to me, they all do the same thing. So I know exactly what they're going to say before they tell me. They walk up to me with their hand on a part of their body that's awkward. Sometimes it's an arm, sometimes it's a hip. Sometimes they're bent over. They're walking towards me with their hand on their knee. Sometimes they're walking towards me with their hand on their shoulder. And what they're doing is, I used to have pain right here till Dr. Appleton treated me. Now I don't have pain in this part of my body anymore. And it's really cool. You know, that all of these people that are in this audience that, like me, are living a pain-free life thanks to Dr. Appleton. It's amazing. And Steve, we've had listeners fly to Florida from all over the country to see Dr. Appleton. We've had listeners come to Florida even by train to see Dr. Appleton and car. People have traveled to Florida to see Dr. Appleton from all over this country. He's that good. And the consultation is free and appointments are not necessary. So walk-ins are always welcome, even on Saturdays. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, like I've done 7 times. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right. So hold on, Steve. We got, okay. We got time. You want to take some more calls for the Gold Report?
We might as well.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, gentlemen. I'm Chris from Pompano Beach. Hey, guys, after Brian, you gave me a good look this morning. Remember you shared your story about the ticket that you deserved?
The what?
The ticket that you deserved back.
Oh, yes.
When you
That
were
was a
like
long time ago.
teenager.
Statute of limitations is long expired on that.
Well, I was just at a red light in the middle of a school zone. Joe, some morons, wondering why he's ready to call everyone an Islamophobe if they're served at an airport. You remember that
Yes.
recent call? So I was listening to that. I was distracted. So when the light turned green, the car in front of me, took off like someone late to work. And I followed behind him thinking, okay, all things are normal. Then I caught myself. I started slowing down. But too late. They flagged us both and pulled us both over.
Ugh.
And so I owned it right away. I was like, okay, great,
Oh, you
but
confessed.
that's a big ticket now. And so, but then I said, yeah, that guy up there, he got me. I forgot I was at a red light in the middle of a school zone. I took off, but then I caught myself. He said, yeah, I kind of saw that. He says, oh, Marine, huh? He says, okay, you can go. Have a nice day.
Was the cop white or black?
Neither, actually. I couldn't tell.
Was he a
I would
was he
say
a
it was
motorcycle
closer-
cop or?
No, regular.
Oh, there you go. The motorcycle cops never
I
let
think-
you go. The motorcycle cops
He was-
never let you go.
Oh, no.
Those
He
guys.
was closer to Hispanic, I would say, if I would have guessed.
Oh, okay.
Of a Hispanic nature. But,
You know what I learned.
so-
do you
so-
know? I'll finish your story.
No, I'm just saying that was. I thought about your story you told earlier.
You know,
right away,
I'll tell you a secret. Okay, when you get pulled over, remember that year, Steve? I got pulled over 5 times and didn't get a ticket.
Yes, I do. You were a bad-looking dude.
5 times.
Here.
I got pulled over 5 times, most of them in Coral Springs, and I didn't get a ticket. And they are brutal in Coral Springs when it comes. One time it was in a construction zone. I'll tell you, not only being polite, I roll all 4 windows down in my car before they get to the car. Every time.
And keep your hands on the wheel.
Put my hands on the wheel and I roll down all the windows. And they know why I'm doing that, so they can see in. And I find when I do that, right away the tension's gone when they're walking up on the cars.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I knew you were going to say that. Just being courteous, just following. Like I said, I owned it right away. And I was like, okay, great, you got me.
You own it?
If he gave me the ticket, he gave me the ticket.
Roll the windows down. Be polite. Unless it's that bald guy in Parkland that's with BSO. I don't care what you're doing. You're going to get a ticket with that guy. But I know. But that's good. All right, confession's good for the soul. All right, take care. We got a break for the Gold Report. All right?
Have a good one.
But before we do, I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. He was in studio yesterday. Steve, there's an annuity where before you leave the office, you make 15% on your money. Isn't that crazy? You make 15% on your money before you leave Joe's office. I mean, how long would it take you to make 15% in the stock market if everything went perfect? I don't know, 3 years or something like that? If everything went perfect. Give Jupiter Joe a call. The consultation's free, which you can do in office if you want, or on the phone or on Zoom. So no matter where you are, you can take advantage of this. And this free consultation, I just want to tell you the value of this, okay? First of all, Jupiter Joe has over 30 years of experience when it comes to financial and retirement planning, okay? So you're getting that experience. But he's also a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by less than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's a top guy in the industry with over 30 years of experience, and he's giving you the free consultation. And after that free consultation, what Joe does is Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal based on your situation and your goals. These are not cookie cutter. They are very specific to you after your consultation. Give him a call, 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999, and online, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold and call William. Hold on. Perfectly. So don't move. Stay right where you are. Hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, hold on. I got William on hold. Hold on. I'll see when I come back. We got 90 seconds. The show's flown by today.
The breaks haven't.
Well, because I lost track of time. I just lost track of time.
This last hour, I don't think this.
I lost track of time. I just, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I missed the one, the traffic jam. It's my fault. I thought we were at the top of the hour when it was 8:15. I don't know why, but I did. And it just messed up.
It's like being in a spaceship. You lose your sense of gravity.
I guess. I mean, I have the clock right here. I just wasn't...
Only works if you look at it.
That's true. Well, sometimes the shows goes by so fast. All right, hold on. All right, William, we have 20 seconds. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Steves here. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with our final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals ending up?
Metals are ending up strong. The market continues to trade sideways for the most part, stabilizing gold in a trading range that has been between 3,900 and 4,000 for a couple of weeks now. This is very good. That has helped to alleviate the overbought situation that the metals experienced after gold running up to about $4,350 an ounce, and now maybe action. Now the 70, which was down to $14.90. Platinum was $12 down before $1,357. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $3,974 up to $4,015. And right now we're at $3,993.20, and that's up $17.
Wow.
Silver up 50 cents at $48.45 the ounce. Platinum up $20 at $1,550, and palladium up $10 at $13.67. So the markets remain solid and still trading sideways for the most part, and giving us some time to digest these gains that we've had over this last year, and also add to our portfolios whenever possible.
Yeah, this sounds like a very good day to do some buying in the gold. This
Yes,
is an awesome
indeed.
day. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. And remember, William Youngerman and his team, they're there to answer your questions too. And if you're new to the metals, I mean, not only is this the time, this is the place, okay, with William Youngerman, because they'll answer all your questions and walk you through everything. The number is toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or you can stop in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay.
All right, take care. All right, take care. Take care. All right, Steve, you back with us?
Yes, I am.
All right. Yeah, you're there. You're there. I don't know if I'm here, but you know, the show's just been going by so fast today. I feel like I've been on the air like 30 minutes, and it's been 3.5 hours because I started early today. You know, and it's just this audience. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. I'm calling to the Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. I worked with a paralegal. I did all, and it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always, always polite. Never showed any aggravation or because I called or I contacted them many times. Always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries could go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal because a lot of these, beneficiaries or heirs, they're not cognizant of what to do. But I just wanted to let you know that the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Well,
okay, Barry.
We just heard the new attorney Barry Siegel commercial, and we just have enough time left in the show for me to give out the number. Yeah, you'll be hearing your call on a commercial coming soon to a radio station near you. Yeah, give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, siegellawgroup.com. All right, thank you so much. We're out of time for the week. The rest of you on hold, well, I'm sorry we didn't make it. God bless America. All right, we're clear. Oh, my goodness. Woo! Ugh. Boy, oh boy. I need our cruise now, not in March, because I am white. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys, all right? All right, and if you're already subscribed, make sure you like the video. I'm Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Take care.